Rage on that beat, going crazy.
Hello, hello, all of our survivors. Welcome back to Week 3 Free Fire Tri-Nation Cup Lake Stage Day 1. So, by the way, I'm your host, Leslie, and here we have amazing caster Abstract and Gideon with us. Hello, guys. How are you doing?
Hello, everyone. Doing good, of course. Coming right smack into the middle of the tournament. No big deal, no big deal.
No big deal. You can do it. So, by
Don't
the
worry,
way,
I got
before
this.
we you got this. Okay. I have never worry about you at all. So yeah, so let's see how's your performance gonna wrap up everything, So last week they were wrapping all the way throughout the performance. So I'm gonna see how you perform today. And as last week was really intense games we can see in week 2 because in the day 1 that some teams from underdogs they actually fight through really good and then they secure themselves really good position and later on we will be seeing their overall score. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, right here is league stage week 3 and this entire league stage is really important because only the best 12 teams from 16 teams are going to the grand final. Okay. Well, by going to the grand final, the biggest chunk prize pool you are getting away. Everyone knows it. So, by the way, before we are kicking start any game of today, we are going to take a look of schedule of the day, teams, overall scoring, and steady state. Let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the most exciting ever because this one is our new teams in every group because we have just reshuffled and rearranged all the groups in different teams in all the groups A, B, and C respectively. So now you can see in Group A we have Eclipse, Baby Argon, LCMY Gregory, Legend Rumble, and 4X-Men Esport. Well, by the way, 4X-Men Esport is um it's really a good team coming up from week one because they have just secured 3 booyahs in just 2 days in week one. So yeah, they are now still secure in top five. So it's really one of the team that you have to watch out. And Group B, we have AV Elite from Philippines, AXA Dream Team from Philippines, Bloody Hate from Philippines, Genesis All Star, and No Escape. They both are the Malaysian team that are placed in Group B, playing against all the Philippines real fighters. And as well, not to forget Supreme Assault Forces in from Philippines. And in Group C, they say this is the group of death. I would like to say, yeah, it's definitely because AKO Auto Knockout, they were now secure at the fifth place in overall scoring. They will perform really well last week. Since week one, they are actually consistently performing well. And Raw Squad, well, this is one of our underdog, and I would say it's the dark horse. So, ladies and gentlemen, you really have to watch out because they were in like 10th place and then climbing up right now in the 6th place. Oh, that's crazy. And LCMY Bosco as well is one of the great team in top 10. Hard to get, ladies and gentlemen, at the 2nd place. And Special Army as well in Group C. All right. So before kicking start everything, I think everyone would like to know what is the point counting. Just to remind you all, the first place in every game will get 20 points. Second will get 17, and consecutively to 12 you can get nothing. And 2 points for every kill in every game. All right, this is the schedule for week three. We will be only playing in Kalahari and Purgatory today. So continuously with Group A versus Group B first, and then Group B versus Group C, and Group A versus Group C in Kalahari and Purgatory. All right, these are the teams, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to them. If you have like someone to support, remember to write down their name and then was like, do some shout out to them because once they see the comment, they will be overwhelming by that. Okay, and they will play better, I guess. All right, so we have Eclipse team, we have Baby Argon. Baby Argon really got me shocked because they were known to be underdog. They were like, okay, Baby Argon is not a team that we have to watch out, but they are playing consistently well by just this age, 15 years old. What about you guys think about Baby Argon? Start with Abstract.
Yeah, honestly, Baby Argon, it kind of seems like they are they are pretty much on par with Auto Knockout, right? Because in week number one, they weren't really shining that brightly. But when it comes to week number two, the spotlight just shone on them. Baby Argon as well as Auto Knockout, they have gotten themselves repetitively a good amount of kills, and they're just doing pretty well. But for Baby Argon going all the way up to third place while Auto Knockout goes down to fifth place is small little changes. But the fact stays that Baby Argon has gotten themselves with 2 total booyahs, and their amount of kill scores is almost equivalent to their placement scores. So I would say that they're pretty well-rounded.
Yeah, that's right. What about Gideon? Do you have anything to add up?
Well, I mean, we're comparing these guys to the people who are sitting right at the top because No Escape right now sitting at the total of 424 points and Baby Argon in third place looking to kind of close that gap. And overall, I think their players definitely are good. They are trying to top the charts even in the kills. My issue right now is that they aren't able to secure those kills because I'm looking at the damage numbers. They are high. They are significant for a team of this caliber. If they can't get those kill points, it's definitely going to show in the standings. So I really hope, especially since we're at the halfway mark, that they will really start looking to just thirst kills as soon as possible.
That's right. So Hard to Get was like on top of Baby Argon, but actually, sorry, I mean 4X-Man was behind of Baby Argon right now at the lake stage. But we can see 4X-Man, they actually secured a lot of booyahs before this, but Baby Argon, they didn't get really a lot of booyah, but instead of they are playing really safe and really consistently, that's why they are securing the third place, even right top of 4X-Man right now. So yeah, kills matters. And well, in Group A, we have LCNY Bosco as well. So let's go to the next Group A teams. We have Legend Rumble and 4X-Man Esport at the fourth place right now. And here you go. With our Group B, we have AV Elite, one of the top team in Philippines, but I can see in week 2 they are not really performing well. Hopefully they are getting back on track today. And AXA Dream Team in Group B, Bloody Hate as well in Group B. Genesis All-Star in Group B, Supreme Assault Forces as well in Group B, as well, ladies and gentlemen, the champion of all time from week 1, day 1, league stage, No Escape in Group B. All right, here you go with the group of death right here. Auto Knockout in Group C, Raw Squad, the Rising Dark Horse right here in Group C, LCMY Gregory in Group C. Hard to Get to, well, Hard to Get is now standing still at the second position. Is very strong, very firm in Group C as well. And Group C, we have Special Army and Y together. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, right here is the overall standing. No Escape standing firmly in the first place from day 1 to today. And today they are gaining 424 points. Very clean, very far apart from Hard to Get in their pocket. Even though they didn't really secure any booyah last week, I didn't expect this much. But yeah, I think their kills point and placement point really play a big part for getting that 424 point. It's about 64 points away from Hard to Get. So what do you think about this, Gideon and Abstract?
Right now, with like you said, No Escape, they do have, yes, high amount of points right now, and they have to play really consistently from this point onwards because, well, understandably, if they don't, then a good amount of teams is definitely going to catch up. And the ones that No Escape should be looking out for is literally the top 6, right? Raw Squad is a little bit far away from Auto Knockout, and it requires Raw Squad to get a huge amount of booyahs as well as kills in order for them to rise up the rankings. But knowing Raw Squad, they are one of the most passive players in this tournament, and we don't really see them actively heading out for kills. So if they continue with their passive gameplay, very likely they wouldn't be able to catch up to number 1. But the whole point for Raw Squad right now is to keep themselves within the top 12, and that should be the goal that they are looking for. While everyone else in the top 1 to the top 5, they just want the first place. They want to do the very best for the first place, and they are gonna go out for the kills.
Yeah, as well, to Raw Squad, I would say, like, most importantly, you just have to secure top 12 because that is how you're going to grand final, and that time you can actually, plan more a little bit to get top 1, right? So at 7, right now, we can see LCMY Bosco, 246 points secured, AV Elite from Philippines, 245, Eclipse from Malaysia, 233, Bloody Head, LCMY Gregory, Legend Rumble come respectively at behind. Alright, AXA Dream Team right now 206, lower bracket Special Army MY 204, Supreme Assault Forces 188, Genesis All-Star 132. Okay, so player to watch, ladies and gentlemen, in week 3, unexpectedly is from Raw Squad. Well, they are really rising up right now because they were from the bottom right now at top 6, ladies and gentlemen. This is Zooks and N. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, our survivors, I bet you're super excited because I am super excited because every teams they have already rearranged again in different group. So I can wait no more. I will be passing off the screen to Abstract and Gideon. Enjoy and booyah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to week 3, day 1, featuring the first map of today, and that is gonna be in Kalahari. My name is Abstract, and with me here is Gideon, and we will be your casters for today.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting round of games, especially since it was the halfway mark. A lot of these teams looking to make sure they secure their spots within the top 12 here. But we're going to be looking over as they are going to be dropping ship on making sure their parachutes land tight and strong because they want to start off this day with a lot of momentum.
A lot indeed, especially since that most of these teams they're kind of exposed to a meta game that is a little bit different from the previous weeks because they have reshuffled the placing, they reshuffled the teams as well, so they don't really quite know of how most of, or rather how the other players is going to adapt to this current situation. So now is really not about those big IQ 400 IQ gameplays whereby you have to counter the other teams. Now is really all about yourself. This is a very selfish game that they have to do right now. They have to focus on themselves, look at the map, and understand how the circle is gonna be, right? Where the circle is going to be located at, and where is the choke points in order to either number one avoid or number two engage.
Yeah, and I think more importantly, especially since the shift has happened, that a lot of these teams are going to not only need to prepare beforehand about their drop sites, but more importantly, they're going to have to adapt on the fly because there's going to be so many different situations that they're going to be put in that doesn't necessarily coincide with their previous week. So I'm excited to see this because we're already seeing a potential engage between ARG and ECP Eclipse as they look to just kind of hide their way until somebody decides to peek a little too far.
Yeah, with the entire view of the map, we don't really have the circle just yet, but we'll be waiting for that. We've got a huge amount of people, as well as the teams is just pretty well spread out. There's literally everyone in north, south, east, west, and even in the center. And you know, it's kind of tough for us to even say anything about where could be the possible choke points. But it can be pretty fair to say that the exterior of the circle for this for Kalahari might be, you know, rather contested. And knowing how Kalahari is usually played, people are usually usually being pretty aggressive right off the bat, right? And this is a kind of a big surprise that none of the teams have gotten themselves into a gunfight just yet.
I mean, all teams, they don't necessarily want to get caught out so early on and start taking casualties. That puts you at such a disadvantage, especially at this kind of style of battle royale genre. Making sure that you have the most amount of advantages towards the later stages of the game is always going to be profit. So as of right now, a lot of these teams, I'm surprised that they aren't getting into these gunfights because, again, especially the teams that are looking to maintain their top 12 spot or trying to break into the top 12 are going to need to really step up the game and get a lot more aggressive.
Yeah, like Baby Argon, for example, they are currently in third place, but they very well know that they should be, you know, playing aggressively, yet safely aggressive. You know, because there are times that you can be really aggressive, you can be really hot-headed, and just, you know what, let's just run straight up this ridge, and let's just bounce right into the apartments and stuff like that, and that is reckless aggressive. So at least Baby Argon, they know that they have that plan in mind. They have a goal that they want to set on, but that they want to be, you know, too quick on their toes to think about what they should do as well.
No, that's a really good point because, I mean, especially with the team. Oh, wait, hold on. It looks like the engagement is actually happening here for his Clips already taking pot shots into his SAF on the other side. It looks like it's going to be a trifecta of death here, as we can see the ARG, just as we were talking about them, probably getting closed in on by SAF. So they got to make sure they secure their perimeters here. Luckily, they have Jabat sitting on high ground, making sure McCrory doesn't get too close because that information is going to be important. But you can see the glue walls have already been deployed.
Yeah, I don't know about this because right now it does seem like, you know, Baby Argon is the one that's being sandwiched in between by Special Army Forces as well as the opponents, and this is not easy because once Eclipse as well as Special Army Forces decided to just run straight in, then that is pretty much game over. But you know, we have a little bit of a switcheroo. We do have a good amount of players that's being able to just jump right in, and of course, a small little trace in between of Eclipse as well as Baby Argon. We don't really have any idea as to how things is going to become right now because Baby Argon with Jabat at the top of the ridge. Whoa! Things are looking spicy and dicey. Team Eclipse currently have 2 men down, with X-Yun being the last one remaining, but there is still time for him to be able to go over and help his teammates. But the question is, they don't really know where the rest of the players are, And I think just like that, Baby Argon may have a huge amount of players gone. And how about Jabat though? Is Jabat down as well? Is it dead?
I think he's no. I think he is, and at this point in time, it's just like that stalemate really started to punish them as SAF got a really good position on the high ground to really look over the entire battlefield, where ECP as well as Baby Argon were just kind of chilling, waiting for the right opportunity to kind of get the initial pick. But unfortunately, this time around, it's not going to be that, as SAF absolutely on fire right now, starting off the day very, very strong, chasing ECP away from the site of shrines.
Yeah, okay, so looking at this, right, there is 10 teams remaining. So if I am not wrong, we ended this game with 11 teams. So Baby Argon may actually be be actually wiped out already. So Baby Argon, unfortunately, they got 1 point as for their placements.
I mean, it's unfortunate to say the least, but hey, that's just the nature of the game. Oh, they gotta drop down that glue wall before NGD's KFH is gonna be knocked down just there, as the rest of the team looking to just kind of keep their sides up. They can't be too aggressive. This is a very close structure and very tight corners. One nade could really set the pace for this, as both teams are trying to maintain control. One on high, one on the second floor, the rest on the ground floor, as Nox also wants to be part of this fight. How many thirds is going to happen here?
I have no idea. I suppose that these teams, they know very well that the thing that they are looking for is vouchering. They really want to get that third-party action ongoing. And in the meantime, it does seem like Mankai is just going to be having a really good idea as to what is going on behind him. But unfortunately, he's just going to pop out. There is going to be a glue wall in between of him and as well as an opponent. But Logan will be able to get a kill right on top of LCMY. And unfortunately for him, he's going to be knocked right out. With still a good amount of players that is going to be inside of the vicinity, he would want to get himself away as soon as possible, very likely, as it is going to be a 2 versus 2 kind of encounter, and they are going to be trading fire, trying to get some holes onto the opponents right now. Mangtai is all for himself, and he needs to find a way to bring back his ally, but with putting a good amount of holes in the opponents, it is still not quite enough for him to do what he wants. And now on the other side of the vicinity, right down of Santa Catarina, we do have the AXA Dream Team finding themselves in a small little pinch against No Escape after waiting for the longest time ever for them to want to head out.
Now with 9 teams remaining, Legend Rumble going to be knocked out from this map here. The server seems to be very, very aggressive. Everybody just wants the piece of everybody. They're looking for any kind of opportunities to start getting ahead in these points. However, they are starting to make some rash decisions. Their positionings are getting compromised, and in most situations, it really doesn't help with the glue walls just covering the doors, making it super difficult to actually infiltrate these structures without having some form of ordnance like a grenade.
Yeah, I mean, it is going to be a 3v3 after all. Shoyu is just going to be holding himself right at the top of the roof just to ensure that, he's got a nice bird's eye view of everywhere and anywhere. But No Escape, they have entered from the bottom side. And unfortunately, Shoyu comes up from absolutely nowhere. He's been filling everyone else with holes and just filling them with lead. But Shoyu have yet to draw a single blood on himself. And AXA Dream Team has been annihilated by No Escape with their aggressive gameplay.
Nox, oh my gosh, show you. He made it out of there, starting off the initial kill before the rest of the team starts pouring into the structure. But more importantly, show you, he's only lost 5 health to fall damage. Not a single one of those bullets actually landed onto him. He came off he started this game really, really clean.
I mean, I don't really even know what has happened over there. I just know that everyone was a little bit distracted where the rest of No Escape was, to the point that they completely just tunnel visioned. They didn't even expect that Shoyu would be coming right through from the door in the second story. Because understandably so, right? If you are getting a lot of movements downstairs, you would want to put more of your manpower, more of the barrels of a gun pointing at the stairs and trying to deal with all the adversaries that's about to come to you. But Shoyu did the smart thing. He stayed on top of the roof, waited for the diversion to come in, and in the end, he became the diversion, and then everyone else had the focus on to Shoyu, and that allowed the rest of No Escape to climb up into the structure.
But now we're looking between the engagement of GS and AV, high to low, not exactly the best positions. However, they've got some pretty good angles here as they look to surround the area and push in towards the circle. They can't get caught in the storm so early as they try to gatekeep them from getting on in. If they can get close enough, they will be able to revive one of their buddies as the rest of the team continues to push on up. Those glue walls won't be able to hold through the firepower of AV. All 4 of their members, their sights locked, but look at the flanker coming on around. You can see Frank. He's taking his time, and I think they just heard his footsteps, so now they are repositioning to kind of get a wider angle just to double check in case that flanker managed to get up onto their high ground.
And in the meantime, Eclipse has been wiped out from the surface of this game right just now, ranking at number 8. And Frank, he does have the angle, he does have the information that the rest of AV Elites has escaped from the compound. So it is perfect for Genesis All-Stars to eventually move in because, well, the storm is coming in, the new circle has been popped right out, and they have to make some changes. They have to do something as soon as possible. And it does seem like both teams are exactly doing just that. And in the meantime, Bloody Head has found themselves in quite a position, especially under the fire of no escape. Mark is gonna be covering fire for his teammate and trying to get him up, right up with the glue walls as well. So the rest of Bloody Heads is still pretty much A-okay. But with the AUG, he manages to take one down, but unfortunately it is just a down. So we can't expect too much from that one.
Oh, this is going to be big. Even though they got the supply drops, the AUG was looking pretty good until he found the AWM, and now this is going to be a real game because he's just earned himself some big boy guns. Hopefully, some unfortunate fool is going to be peeking out, thinking that he's safe until he hears that crackling roar of the barrel of that AWM.
That is not good, man. That is not good to whoever is supposed to be hearing that. Obviously, the wielder is something that's going to be a little bit different. But other than the fact that No Escape currently have 3 kills, they have to find a way to deal with that AWM. And in the meantime, fell to death. Not something that you would expect at this point of the game. But, you know, well, accidents happen. Definitely accidents
definitely happen. Well, let's look at the current overview of the map. So far, the circle has kind of closed down towards a pretty large... Yeah, it looks a pretty large structure being enveloped here. But look at the teams on the outside, GS as well as Man. As well. I can't see the last team at the very end. I think it's Bloody Head as well, looking to go into a full engagement. No, it's not Bloody Head. It's GRY, as all of them are just playing around these elevated structures so tightly knit in as 4 X-Men are trying to clear up shop. They've already taken 3 casualties compared to GS. Genesis All-Stars. Frank getting hit by the AWM, and that's what we were talking about.
Oh, you can hear the naughty bonk right on his head. And unfortunately, Manzai will be the last man remaining coming from 4X-Men Esports, and he have to run for his dear life to get himself into the circle as soon as possible. But it does seem like the AWM has struck again. Getting that shot down is going to be really crucial coming in for their team. Ooh. Bloody Heads is really getting the shots down. AV Elite brings 2 down. 1 man coming from No Escape is going to be knocked down as well. 1 man, show you, completely eliminated. No Escape is finding themselves with only 3 men remaining inside of the current circle, while Bloody Heads is going to be slowly making their way through into the circle with a huge amount of blue walls being deployed. But the question is it enough for them to stay alive from this point on, because there is just way too much covering fire coming in from AV Elites. As you can pretty much see right here, Joker is just firing down his barrel of the gun and trying to get some shots down by Mark again with the AWM, and again, ladies and gentlemen, there's just so much nutty shots all around the map. And what can I say about this? Joker is just putting all the shots down, and Mark does it again, over and over again. Man, you are insane. And Garute is gonna be the next one coming in. Everyone else is just getting shot down by Mark. The AWM action is just flowing in for Bloody Heads. He's not stopping anytime soon until now. He got shot down by the LMG coming in from Joker. Oh my god, finally they brought it down.
Oh, I mean, it's so tough, like, especially with such a powerful weapon. Now we're coming into the last 4 teams. Once again, Black finds another connection here. As the rest of the team looks to play from high to low. The Graza is going to be, no, it's not going to be picked up as he's looking for any option to get on to this area. He sees Soft climbing up the stairs, but they've got no grenades, so they have to play this slow. He gets shot in the back once. The shotguns are coming through, and they have to clear up shop. Unfortunately, it's going to be another one getting hit by AWF as everybody's getting thirded, looking to hold this tower. It is a bloody mess as they finally clear out. SAF only take 1 casualty with 2 knocks on their side.
What is happening? I thought that I really thought that Bloody Head would be able to do something about that, and the fact that they have gotten so many knockdowns, I really thought that they would have been rolling in points and kill points. But it does seem like things is not going that way, because Special Army Forces has gotten themselves a total of 9 kills, while AV Elites only have 5, and now the Circle Judgment is going to be closing in right on to Body, and it doesn't seem like he's doing well, but he's right in the center, but now he's going to be bleeding down to death in the end. What?
Booyah! Coming in from AV, managing to hold out this entire time, literally creeping up, not getting some huge casualties from that AWF power play, but at the end of it, as long as they lurk, as long as they didn't get into the middle of the fire, SAF and Bloody Head will take care of themselves, and that's how the game ends. Oh my goodness.
What a naughty win! AV Elite was inside of and right smack in the center of a circle, and it does seem like Special Army Forces couldn't find any ways to enter into the circle and try to deal with the last remaining survivor in AV Elite, and and that is going to be Jabui. And I did not expect that ending. I did not. I did not expect that ending. I really thought that SAF could have done something. My God, my oh my.
Honestly, I'm a level with you here. I definitely thought that SAF had that in the bag. They had the numbers advantage. They just picked up 2 of their members. It's a 3v2 situation. They just needed to find where AV was going to be. But at the end of the day, the walls were a little too high to climb over, and the circle, the storm just hurt too much. And AV in prime position, they had the cards in hand to kind of just hold out and sustain through all the damage.
I don't even know what to say about that, but in all, congratulations to AV Elites. It does seem like, you know, they always have this thing whereby it is the start of the week, start of the day, they start to win game, because that is exactly what they did in week number 2. They just immediately went straight in, won game number 1, but unfortunately that was pretty much all of their streak. They just won game 1, and unfortunately they wouldn't really be able to get anywhere. But the good thing is, they come into the game, they come into the week strong, really strong, and they have all the motivation, all the momentum rushing through. And I'm pretty sure that they should be able to do something with this week's game.
Yeah, and it's so important because they're the 8th place team, AV Elite from the Philippines. The Filipino fans must be rejoicing here as that gap is slowly starting to close between 7th and 8th place. The overall total placing score was 154 to 147, so that means only a 7-point differential. We're going to be seeing AV Elite shoot up that list and maybe even contest for top 4.
Very well might be, because looking at the leaderboards right now, Boss Crew is just literally 1 point on top of AV Elites. There could still be a lot of differences and a lot of changes that could be made to the leaderboards, which we will only see at the end of today and then tomorrow as well. We are in the halfway mark already, and looking at the leaderboards, you know, things can get really wild in here. So, you know, No Escape may not necessarily be the first position for the longest time. Someone may actually come up and win against No Escape, snag their kills, snag their points, take the placements and whatsoever. And we still don't know who it might be just yet. Who knows? Maybe it could come in the form of AV Elites as well, or perhaps even Special Army Forces because they have gotten themselves a total of 9 kills. Whoa.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and that's how the format kind of works. Especially when you're looking at the rules, you're thinking, should I be playing for placements or should I be playing for kills? It's a little hard to judge because placements even seemingly sounds really, really good. 2 points per kill. Killing a squad is going to be 8 points, which is almost equivalent of just getting, fit maybe even 6th place in most of these situations. So if you can really rack up those points, there are different play styles. You can play passive, you can play extra aggressive, but now if it's crunch time, aggression is going to pay off.
Exactly. Like how Team Hard to Get is doing things out. Auto Knockout is doing like the same thing as well. They don't really care anything about a podium. I mean, they don't care anything about a booyah. As long as they're in podium, they don't care if whether they are the third team, and they don't care about revealing the location. They don't care about firing guns up into the air and letting people know, hey guys, I'm here. They don't care. They just want to get the kills down. Because the possibility of them meeting against another team with 4 men or perhaps even 3 men and being able to third party in and join in the party, then they're gonna sweep. They're gonna sweep and get themselves that juicy kill points.
Yeah, but I also think that, teams got to be a lot more careful once they see an AWM pop up on that kill feed, because again, I'm not sure how many kills that one AWM got after it transferred over. They got the initial kills. It's like, oh yeah, that's looking pretty good. We took out like half the squad of AV. We started putting some damage into SAF, and all of a sudden they get gatekeeped. Ah, shucks, I died. That's fine. SAF then pick up the AWM to herself to finish off the second last squad. Unfortunately, we all know how that ended at the end of the day. So a lot of these teams, they got to be careful. Those power weapons really clutching it out to help get you those free kills.
Like you said, there was a lot of shots coming in from the AWM. First, we coming from Mark, and we also come in from the other player. I can't remember which was the other player that picked up the AWM. But regardless of that, Bloody Hands was really just nailing down the shots. And looking at the kill feed, right? It does seem like there is a lot of knockdowns, but unfortunately, they are unable to execute the enemies. Very likely is because, they're inside of structures. But the good thing is, you kind of deplete them from the time that they need to kind of relocate themselves from places to places, or perhaps just burn through their consumables. Anything along that lines. Just let people know the dominance coming in from Team Bloody Heads.
Because in a game like this, especially in Free Fire, you're not too concerned about how much ammunition you have other than the first drop. Once you're about mid-game, it's pretty easy to actually find ammunition off of dead bodies, picking it up and looting along the ways. So in most cases, it's about making sure that your position is prioritized, because if you are in a compromised area, getting thirded is never a good feeling.
Indeed. No matter what, just, that is why I kind of say, you would want to conceal your position as much as possible. But looking at the meta game right now for things are starting to get spicy, dicey, whatever it is, and I like it. I absolutely love it. And now we're going to be jumping into Purgatory. Purgatory, well, I can't really remember much, but to be honest, all I can think of is that the gameplay is pretty much standard. We've got the players dropping down, find their loots. They don't necessarily go for a lot of kills, but the southern side is always the one that's being prioritized. They would really want to head their way down to the southern side and get themselves some good old loots in central. Fire Brigade as well as Lumber Mill is a great way to path around. The routing is really good as well, but when it comes to the bridge, that is where things start to get a little bit tough, because there may be gatekeepers that are just holding by the bridge and ensuring that you don't enter into the main island of Purgatory.
But that's the thing about the map. It's just the way that it's designed. I mean, it's supposed to reminisce an archipelago for the most part of it, having 3, giant islands that you can kind of fight upon. And those choke points, especially when you're adding when you're incorporating water into the map as well, does become a little bit frustrating for these players, especially at the highest levels, because you never know where the circle is going to land. Is it going to land right smack in the middle, where it touches all 3 islands? And then what do you do then? You're just going to be shooting from end to end. Some people are going to be hiding away, and those rotations just become so much more difficult if the circle isn't in your favor. So early positioning is what I'm going to be looking for in these teams in a map like this.
I mean, in the end, I just really want to see how the team is going to play at Purgatory. I do love to see some good old fights at the southern side of the map. because they gave us some good action last week, because I believe that there was like 4 or 5 teams that just jumped right into Central as well as Fire Brigade. They were all really close together, and things turns out, well, I don't really have to say too much about that, but it was a massacre. So I hope that these teams will be able to give us that kind of awesome action.
Well, we're going to have to wait and see as these teams are about to drop here onto Purgatory. We're having a pretty neutral flight path overall, but let's see how that south side is going to go. And hopefully you get what you wish, and that's going to be an absolute bloodbath.
Yep, with the flight path starting in the northwestern side and cutting all the way through to the southeastern side, it does seem like the players will, and the teams and players will have the easiest access over to Brasilia, as well as Lumberville, and not to forget Crossroads as well. But looking at it, we have 3 teams heading down to the southern side, and for Team 4X-Men, they are pretty close to the golf course, while LGD, they are just heading themselves inside of Brasilia, somewhere towards the southern side of Brasilia, while Baby Aragon is at the northwestern side of Brasilia. Oh, yes!
Oh,
yes! Fight! In Fire Brigade! Fight!
Oh.
Yeah,
this is what you wanted.
That is what
Abstract. I want. And yeah, it's so clear. I mean, all these teams are just running around looking for any kind of loot to make it sure they'll use anything to their advantage. And if they get some big guns, they might have an opportunity to get a couple of these picks between AXA and DT, as well as they wanted for the first pick, but unfortunately the strips doesn't work out for them. He didn't get those shots all the way through, and GS already finding their first casualty, as well as picking up their first knockup.
Oh my god, now Genesis All-Stars finds himself yet another kill right on top of DT. Things are not looking well for them. And now for DT, they have to get themselves away. They really have to get themselves away, or else AXA Dream Team will be knocked right out almost immediately. It's just gonna be left with Wise as well as Toby. But Wise just gonna take this momentum and of course take this time to get himself further and further away from Fire Brigade, because he knows that Genesis All-Stars is definitely gonna be right on his tail. And knowing Genesis All-Stars as well, they are not letting this prey slip away. As you can see, all the lads are throwing right at him. But unfortunately, not enough to bring him down.
Oh, wait, can they actually secure him here? Yes, there we go. The knockdown onto Wise is 5-star. He's going to be looking to actually find Toby here. Oh, no, wait. How is he alive? He's at 1 HP. He could look to secure this kill and really put a hurt into the team, but it looks like, yes, the thirst does go through. GS is going to have 1 casualty after really trying to punish DT on their way out of the area. Well played, but unfortunately not the cleanest of engagements.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, they still managed to secure 4 kills for themselves. But the thing about that previous engagement for AXA Dream Team, I was really hoping, that the last standing player should have just went straight and executed Star, because he knows that, the entire team is just rushing right at him, Rambo style, right? So the best thing that you could do is to get 2 points for yourself before you die. So you knock him down, you don't really get anything. You need to execute him and get the points all for yourself, and everything else is history. If whether you're able to survive from the entire encounter is going to be a separate issue. It should have been the way that he goes straight for the execution.
I mean, ideally, but I can also respect the fact... Oh, wait, hold on. Let's finish up this engagement first before we go back. Bloody Head's going to be able to find those kills here around Ski Lodge once again. That free pick is going to help them push them up in the score. And coming back to what we were talking about earlier, yes, yes, he should have looked to thirst at him as soon as possible. But I do think and give a lot of respect to players who like to... You know what? I'm going to leave him here. I'm going to try and bait this out. I'm going to try and squad wipe them. And I could definitely appreciate a 1v4.
Yeah, well, that would have made a great narrative, right? But, I mean, maybe it's because I'm a scrub, so usually I don't find myself in situations of 1v4. So the first thing I think of is to save my butt and try to get myself a good amount of points and just like, you know what, I'm gonna die anyways.
Respect. No, I totally get you. I get caught in those situations where it's like, you know what? It's time to get a cool highlight reel before I get absolutely donked in the head.
Only
only
when you
so
said
much.
I'm gonna get a highlight reel and you just immediately just get headshotted out of completely nowhere. Things just happens for no reason at all. But well, moving on from that previous topic, yes, you should have got the execute here and there. But if he didn't get to execute, then it would have been cool. Great to add on to the narrative if he actually managed to get an entire team wipe if he were all alone. Would have been great. Would have been great.
That would.
And now we're
That
looking
would
at
have been great.
30 seconds left. Yeah, 30 seconds
Now-
left. And I think that the circle is gonna be crowding around the center of right below a moat house. So I think it's pretty close to like Phil's on the Phil's Marble Works and Brasilia in the edge, I think.
Yeah, but a lot of teams, they haven't gotten to. I mean, this is only the first circle, and so far the game has been going pretty slow in comparison to what it was in Kalahari. Yes, it is two different maps, but I think teams are taking a different approach where they don't necessarily want to hard contest just yet, especially since this is the midway point in the league. They want to make sure that they're maximizing each one of these games from kills to their position points. But for X-Men here, looking to fight back against Nox, they dropped down the glue wall. They know that they're trying to creep out around him, but they are making sure that they're setting up the structures, setting up their cover with the glue wall to ensure that that left flank is going to be cleared as they look to mow them down one by one, high to low. They got the headshots moving through. That's going to be one. That's going to be two. Logan finds an opportunity and he takes full advantage of it. Manages to get the heal, 34 HP, but it's not going to. But it's going to stop the regeneration here. The rest of his team is pulling on through, and it looks like it's a 1v1. Can they secure this kill? It could be a full squad wipe, and here we go. Nox comes up on top, taking out 4 X-Men.
Oh my god, that is going to add up to no escapes points right now. And for the 4 X-Men, well, things are not going their way after all. I just have no idea how that game, how that has started, how that has ended as well. But the most important thing is No Escape did not lose a single soul to that in that fight. All of them is still alive. Yes, some of them have been knocked down, but the main thing is that none of them has been executed. So 4 kills to their name. Well, all 4 of them is remaining and alive. Man, I'm just gonna say for No Escape, they definitely is gonna be looking strong this week as well.
Yeah, they're looking pretty good so far, but now let's look over to this next engagement here, as we did see a general overlay of the area. A lot of teams in the vicinity playing the poking game, making sure that they're not fully committing, knowing that there's other people watching them as they are creating a lot of noise towards this part of the map.
Bloody Head is just going to be at the top of this ridge, and in the meantime, Yoon gets a nice shot right onto Mark, I believe. Oh, no, Yoon get a shot onto someone else. I can't exactly see that. But in the meantime, I guess the most important part is that Bloody Heads actually come into an encounter against Baby Argon. They're just going to be at the bottom of that ridge. And now for Bloody Heads, they have another kind of fight going on against Eclipse if they're willing to go through that maybe about 300 meters fight up across the barn or something like that. But, well, all of them is still trying to play safe. They would want to stay themselves inside of cover and gonna be waiting for the storm to eventually come straight in and relocate themselves once the time is right.
I'm just trying to figure out what Bloody Head is trying to do here, because again, he's really, really isolated and separated so far away from the rest of his team, looking to kind of hunker down. I guess he's trying to get an overview of the land, trying to scout out where his opponents are. But if he gets picked off, it's just going to be free points for the enemy team. But now Logan and Hazik are going head to head in this bout. The shotguns are coming through. The close quarters is too close. But yeah, again, that's the thing. When you're looking at these replays and reliving these moments, you notice more and more important factors, like number one, having SMGs shotguns. The burst damage through that high rate of fire has always been a big argument here.
Yeah, especially when you are at the ridge, right? You do have a sort of advantage when you're at the top of the ridge versus at the bottom of the ridge, because in a third person view, it does definitely help you a lot more if you are at the bottom side of the ridge. Oh wait, is it the bottom? Okay, I can't remember exactly which is the top, which is the bottom, which one is better for third person. But you get the point. There is there is some sort of bias when it comes to being at the top or the bottom of the ridge because of your perspective. But having a shotgun for Hazik at the top of the ridge definitely gave him so much value for that one, for just that specific fight.
Yeah, because the only hitbox that most people are going to see is just the tip of his head. And even though, yes, the aim assist is a very powerful mechanic in the game and is heavily utilized, you're only, in most situations, you're not going to be able to have enough time to actually go ADS into getting that fire off when you just need to hip fire. But ECP now getting full frontal force. Look at the shot coming out of AV Elite, making sure that the pressure is on them. The glue walls now taking quite a lot of damage here. They haven't even expanded their utility or grenades to make it through, but hold on, can they get into the structure in time? Yes, they do. They have one knocked out, but they should be able to pick them up and heal themselves ready for this next engagement. Oh my goodness.
Oh, naughty shot coming from Joker. Wow, they definitely did not see that coming. While Red Panda comes in from behind, tries to kill whoever is still alive and trying to pick him up. But before that, he goes straight for the execution. We do have a fragment being thrown into the building, but it doesn't seem like Red Panda is pretty much giving any much damn about all of that. And AV Elites have managed to go straight in and breach into the place. And they are left with one man outside of the building. But the question is, will they be able to find this last man, even though they are this close to the current circle?
I think they should be able to get in, no issues whatsoever. But yeah, man, ECP on the other side, he is just trapped, and he just needs to kind of wait this one out. There's nothing much he can do. The rest of his teammates are dead, and as long as he lives and rats this game out, he is netting his team points. Ooh, can he actually? I mean, if he peeks out now, he might be able to pick off Red Panda. But Red Panda, he's going to be running down, getting a vehicle as well. Is he going to spot that last member?
I have a feeling that he may be able to. Oh no! Oh, he's right behind the boulders, right at his blind spot. My God, it was close. It was close, but you know, he deserved to be to live. He definitely deserved to live. And in the meantime, it does seem like we are having a small little engagement between Baby Argon as well as LGD, as LGD is just going to be heading themselves at the top of that ridge, while the rest of AV Elites is just going to be crossing that bridge and trying to get themselves in a better cover.
Yeah, and LGD going to be running up from the north side of the map, looking at that last member of ECP, still just chilling. He's hiding. He's really hoping he doesn't get spotted out here. I mean, he is in a little bit of a crow's nest of himself, and if he just peeks out a little too far or makes too much noise, he's going to be spotted out.
This is great trigger discipline right there. He knows exactly what he needed to do, and you know, he just needed the placements. It's not about, you know, snagging kills anymore. Yes, you may try to go in for the third party and all that kind of fun stuff, but that also means that you have the smaller amount of possibility to be able to get yourself that free placement points. And for Abella, I suppose that he knows, or he or she knows that, you know, it's time to play it safe. You know, time to play it safe, wait for the circle, and observe his or her surroundings.
Yeah, it's super important that he does, because he as long as there are 9 teams left, a lot of the positional points are going to be within the top 5. So if he can get somewhere within top 5 and just keep ratting it out, he should be able to net his team a significant number of points in comparison to the other teams playing for position but don't exactly have the kills.
With AV Elites, they still have 5 men remaining, Bloody Heads, only with 1 man remaining as well. And I believe from the other encounter, we do have Eclipse also having 1 man remaining. So we have quite a few amount of you know, teams that already has been, you know, been handicapped already right now, and they don't have any means of survival when it comes to a all-out team fight. And not to forget, Special Army Forces also find themselves in a small little handicap because they are missing of a single player. It is going to be a 3 against all kind of situation. No escape with with all 4 men remaining. And I think for LCMY Gregory, they have, I can't see very well, but it looks like it's 3 men remaining. They have 3 men remaining. Yeah. So the only 2 teams that kind of have like a full army force is going to be No Escape. I haven't heard from Baby Argon as well as Raw Squad for quite a bit as well. AV Elite has all 4 members remaining as well, so it's kind of tough to say how is this game gonna be like now.
New kill leader.
I mean, they're really healthy so far, but looking at this looking at the circle closing in and a river right smack in between, not exactly the best position for, you know, center circle players compared to outer circle players, because they're going to have a significant advantage of just landscape alone. The eastern side does have a significant incline, while the western side getting completely gatekeeped from LCMY's Gregory, making sure that LGD ain't coming into the next circle without some kind of harassment. They find the first pick off here for the side of AB Elite once again, getting rotated on, knowing that their positions are going to be compromised very soon if they don't start putting pressure.
And we do have AV Insanity. It's just gonna be raining bullets from the top of the ridge, trying to get a few members coming from Baby Argon down as soon as possible. Djibouti is also gonna be finding himself a couple of shots onto the opponents, but it does seem like things are gonna be settling down for a little bit. The circle is coming in closer and closer to the center of the river, and this is definitely not something that everyone would be expecting. There's only one team that is right smack in the center of the circle, and not gonna lie, it doesn't seem like it is a very good spot, because once everyone kind of crowds at the extremities of the current circle, then things are gonna get really dicey. In the meantime, AB Elite Joker finds himself in the middle of everywhere else and goes for the grenade launcher, brings one down, gonna go for the execution, and he was able to get that one down, but here we have a bonus, getting a kill, or rather knockdown on Jabat as well. But Joker, he knows of his objective. He knows what is going to be the plan in mind, and knows that he cannot stay there any longer to try to go for the kill. But unfortunately, here comes Cobra. We'll be able to get a kill right on the Joker. And on the other side, we do have Eclipse being completely knocked out as well. And now he's going to be left with 7 members. Insanity is insane! We have SAF getting a good amount of kills with the grenade launchers as well. The circle is becoming smaller and smaller. Genesis All-Stars is just going to be swimming inside of this reservoir and trying to get themselves in the most optimal positioning. But the problem is, there's just too many people. We have Rain that's just going to be outside of that small little hut, outside of that reservoir, and there's another player that is at the opposite side of the reservoir. So there's still so much things that they have to consider. 5 teams remaining and 12 members alive. This is going to be tough, and Bloody Head is going to be eliminated at 5th place as well.
Yep, and this is looking just so brutal for every one of these teams. This circle has been so punishing to people who haven't been able to get a structure, or at the very least sit in the center of the circle. Now, all the eastern side teams are gone. There's only the western side teams on the other side of this river. They have a potential to pick up a Graza for themselves, but for the most part of it, they need to start gatekeeping. You can see Nox walking up. You can see the confidence out of this man, Hazik, as he walks forward, unafraid to take out their opponents. That's going to be Nox once again. Great. Going to be taken out.
Oh! Once again, another one being credited over to Hazik. More points to his name. And now, Genesis All-Star is going to be the last man remaining, but he really wants to go for the final kill. He really wants to go for the execute. But unfortunately, Genesis All-Stars, with that one man remaining, there is nothing that he could have done at that situation. All in all, they did a great job, and they managed to get themselves the 2nd place. But the most important part is that No Escape has found themselves with a great amount of kills, and also getting themselves the booyah. No Escape, they are holding themselves at the top part of the leaderboards for, I think they're going to be staying up there for a long while for now.
I mean, look at that. A 42 score, 11 kills, and getting 1st place. Like, oh, that is going to be a significant lead. As we're like, look at, let's put into comparison the other teams and the number of kills that they got. I mean, now we're looking at Genesis All-Stars. They have in total 6 kills in comparison to No Escapes. No Escapes 11 kills, and finally LCMY's Gregory at 5 kills in total. So it really was a tough game overall, especially when No Escape, they got that power weapon of that grenade launcher, started running teams down.
I just did not expect that coming from No Escape. But hey, I just gotta have to commend the Genesis All-Stars as well. They managed to snag themselves with a total of 6 kills. And not to forget, they've gotten themselves in 2nd place as well. Genesis All-Stars finds themselves at the bottom part of this leaderboard. And after pretty good rounds coming in from this and the previous one, I'm pretty sure the Genesis All-Star could find themselves climbing up the leaderboards and could very potentially be able to get themselves back up to 15th place. And of course, being able to beat Supreme Assault Forces. But, you know, it's still a little bit tough to say, because Supreme Assault Forces finds themselves at a total of 188 total score before game number 1. Genesis All Stars find themselves in 132 in total score for before game number 1. Supreme Assault Forces and gotten themselves with a great amount of points in game number 1. So maybe Genesis All Stars still have some gap to close, but I think that they're not too far ahead to within this week and next week to climb up to the 12th ranking.
Of course, but more importantly, so LCM's Gregory, I think getting that third place is going to be a very good showing in terms of their points because they don't want to get further down. They're right at the borderline, like looking at the leaderboards as of right now, where LCM-wise, Gregory at 11th position with Legend Rumble just under them, 1 point differential. AXA Dream Team as well, they're going to be a good 7 points right behind LCM-wise Gregory. So getting this booyah right now is going to help set the pace and as well shoot them up into the leaderboard so they aren't in that risky territory between these 4 teams.
Well, it's really tough for us to even say anything about how the points is gonna be like, but we will be able to get the final leaderboards after game number 2, and I mean, this is pretty much the end of this small little bracket between A and B. We'll be taking a look at Group B versus C after a really, really short break. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with you guys.
Squad already with 4 kills. Maybe they wiped out a squad early on that we didn't catch on screen, but none other than that, teams are going to be relatively passive and going to be camping onto the buildings, holding onto their grounds and not going to make any extra movements. But we can see GS Star Genesis is going to be making a move towards a rotation and might rotate to the center of the map because they're right outside Catalystua.
As well as I believe for X-Men is already down and eliminated, and now we are looking at a confrontation between GS as well as Raw Squad. How exactly is this going to be? Well, in the meantime, we're also going to be taking a look at how to get. They did manage to deploy out their cover and just to make sure that there is going to be some cover in between of themselves and the opponents. But Bosco is just going to be eliminated at his next place. While Satifu is going to be heading right out from this cover. Picks one right onto Raw Squad. He's just going to be waiting for the opportunity to just run straight in. And Raw Squad, unfortunately for them, is going to be
the LMG to shoot down those globals and attempt to kill onto the opposing team, onto the Rule. Special Army MY is going to be really, really dangerous right there. This is a replay that just went out, so Special Army MY has been taken out and lie in this team, ladies and gentlemen, and the circle shifted away towards them. But Auto Knockout is right around the edge of the circle. They couldn't have the chance to make a play, but Shoyu is going to attempt to make a play as well. He has the shotgun in hand. Will he go for an aggressive push and eventually get 1 or 2 picks for themselves and secure the top 5 spots for themselves? But I'm not sure about this abstract. I'm not sure about what Shoyu is going to do, but this is looking very dire for Team No Escape and looking very good for Auto Knockout. Is going to be pinching Eclipse right around the corner with together with 4X-Men. This is going to be a 3-way fight, ladies and gentlemen. Abella dropping very low, Anga dropping very low, but 4X-Men is going to be pushed out. Once will be instantly dropped down, melted down by the MP40. Logan will be dropping down. Then Abella is just running in with the MP40. X-Units will be dropping down. Anga will be dropping down back as well. Baby Argon with the back with the third party going on. And Baby Argon is going to push in with the advantage that they knew, lobbing grenades up from back and center. They know that Eclipse is nowhere to go, and they know for a fact that 4X-Men has nowhere to go. They're going to be chasing down onto Abella. And right now 4X-Men is running away for their lives. 1 man left remaining, 2 man remaining in the fact, but Cobra will get the kill onto Abella, and Eclipse will be wiped out. And Auto Knockout is really in a tight spot. Miro with 70 HP left managed to pop a glow wall right before he gets dropped down instantly, gets the kill off, gets everything up online. He's back to full HP, but he has to rotate as soon as possible. The circle is closing as possible, but grenades ain't lobbed down. Oh, Mr. D! He's not looking good. He's not looking safe. LCM Bosco is just right around corner. Miro gets dropped down onto this stage. I don't think he's going to get picked up. He's going to be leaving him behind. He's going to attempt for the kill. He's sniping him down on the leg, but oh my god, the grenade just kills him off. And LCM Bosco just running over. He's just running over Auto Knockout right now. Auto Knockout has been. These two teams are confronting each other. They want to demolish each other off. They want to run each other down. Judge dropping very low. Raw Squad. My next will be dropping very low as well. Just will get dropped down by And this is going insane. My next will be still alive and allowed to be picked up, but will get knocked out by McRory. Good teamwork coming off the side of Super Army Forces. 2 versus 4. Susan still very dangerous. He has the glow wall, but not much to work with because the SKS is going to be dealing up. Oh my god, Susan will get the knock onto McRory instead, and Raw Squad still 3 will get the kill, but Force will get dropped down by me from the other side of the map. Frank will be shooting down on themselves as well. Force dropped down already. They have to move quick, they have to move fast because 7 seconds left onto the 7 circle has been moved. Frank pushing up with the melee weapon will be tempting for the aggressive plays. Will he pop the glow wall instead for the push? But no, he holds on to the sniper rifle. Solly shoots down onto me. Goals being popped. Will be saving themselves for a little bit of bullets, but circle commission here. Frank has the advantage on them. Shotgun in play. Cal, will he get the kill? Cal dropping very, very low. Solly dropping very low as well. Trying to go on kill up, but Solly gets killed as well. Last minute member alive, Bosku, and there we go. Bosku will get eliminated, and
Mr. D from Auto Knockout from the other side of the wall. They are still inside of the circle and they should still be pretty much A-okay. But they have their eyes up onto the northern side. A lot of members is still inside of the circle, or rather really close to the circle. However, hard to get though. The glue wall pops. Mr. D pops another part of the glue wall. A good amount of shots that's going to be landed on Batman, but oh! That shot immediately knocks Batman down. Goodbye, Batman. No more Batarang for you to be tossing all around the map.
the only man alive right now. As well, Bosku Cal, 1 man left alive in this particular match. I don't think he will do anything great just yet. He's being pinned.
Hello, welcome back. So before we kicking start the series 2 in Lake Stage Week 3 Day 1, we are going to see the result first. Why not in Match 1 and Match 2? Let's go. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, right here is the Match 1 result. We can see Supreme Assault Forces, they are playing pretty well in Match 1, I would say, because they are able to secure 9 kills with a placement of 2, which getting 35 points. Wow, they got in the first place in Match 1. That is a little bit insane because, as if you know, SAF is actually at the bottom bracket on the top of the bottom, which is 16 right now. So with this point, definitely they're gonna climb somewhere upper. And AV Elite getting second in placement, they get Booyah. In total points, they get total kill points, they get 12 points, and with total overall point 32 in game 1. And then we have Bloody Hate, LCMI Gregory, No Escape, and Genesis All-Star coming up next. And then number 7, we have 4X-Men Esport getting 12 points, AXA Dream Teams in total 11. Eclipse 8 points, Legend Rumble 4, Baby Argon 3 points. Okay, let's go to the Match 2 result, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, No Escape. They are coming back in Purgatory. I really didn't expect this because No Escape has always been dominating in Kalahari, but not Purgatory. But this time, different story. They are making it to the way to Purgatory, getting the Booyah with total kill points of 22. 11 kills, ladies and gentlemen. Total points 42 in their pocket. Can you see how much difference between No Escape and the second point? Genesis All-Star 29? 42 and 29. That is insane numbers. LCMY Gregory secured 3rd place with 25. AV Elite, we have 16 points. Bloody Hit 16. Baby Argon 15. And Supreme Assault Forces 14 point, Eclipse 4, AXA Dream Team 3, Legend Rumble 3, and 4X-Men Esport 2. Okay, these are the overall result in Match 1 and Match 2 in Series 1 today in Kalahari and Purgatory. Well, gentlemen, I got really shocked when I watched Game 2 because I didn't expect No Escape will make such a comeback because they didn't make any Booyah last week. So I didn't expect at all they would get in Purgatory because they are always dominating the Kalahari map instead. So what about that? Can you tell me more a little bit about their gameplay today in Purgatory itself, Abstract?
Honestly, when it comes to Purgatory, their encounter against 4X-Men was like a go all in kind of situation. So they either go all in and win the entire fight, or they just completely lose the fight, right? Go big or go home kind of situation. They managed to win against 4X-Men, and that was not, I wouldn't say surprising, but the surprising factor is that none of the members coming from 4X-Men Esports decided to go for the execute. So in the end, no X-Men managed to get themselves 4 men remaining, and from that point onwards, they have just been getting themselves in great positions. They managed to get some good amount of third-party action going on about. They caught people that are trying to transport from one place to another, and that is how they have been, racking up kills. And by the time they're reaching the final circle with 4 men strong, nothing really is able to, bring them down anymore.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, I didn't expect this because Gideon, because I was looking at 4X-Men. They were like 3 of them were down, and I'm like, okay, they're gonna be annihilated by 4X-Men, and then they came back like that by just one player shooting off everything. So, by the way, Gideon, do you have last call before we go to the series 2?
Well, I think we got to keep our eyes on LCM's Gregory here because they are racking up a good amount of points, and they should be keeping themselves pretty secure within the top 12. And I think anybody who is trying to compete with them in that top 12 position is going to really, really start struggling because a lot of these teams, again, have been getting knocked out relatively early.
As well, ladies and gentlemen, in Group C right now, we have Auto Knockout, Raw Squad, LCM, My Boss Cool, Hard to Get. All of them are in the top 7, ladies and gentlemen. They are playing against our top 1, No Escape, in this series. So I'm actually having goosebumps by only talking this, So yeah, I am really excited to see what's gonna happen next. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to pass this game to Abstract and Gideon. Enjoy and let's booyah.
All right, here we have the second match upcoming in here. Group B versus Group C, something that we haven't seen just yet because of the new scrambling of the groups, and this is definitely something that all of us is looking forward to because we don't really have a big idea how the players are gonna play this just yet. But now that the opportunity presents itself, let us see how all of these big guns, big players, big teams is going to play in Kalahari.
Yep, and I think the most important part before the game even starts is where they're going to drop, because now that they shuffled up the team, most teams who aren't prepared and don't know where the favorite landing spots for a lot of these teams, especially once the shuffle up happened, you're going to see some very early engagements like this one here between Bloody Head as well as Rar Squad, almost straight away trying to get this command post running around looking for any kind of loot to try and equalize the grounds here. They find one. Oh no, Rar, they're trying to keep their team play on their side of the map. They know for a fact that Bloody Head are on the southern side. They just need to kind of open up that perimeter and look to get those pickoffs as soon as possible because it's so early on. Getting that numbers advantage is going to be key.
In the end, it does seem like Raw Squad is just going to be isolating themselves away from Bloody Heads because Bloody Heads have got pretty much the entire eastern side, or rather the southeastern side of Command Post, while the rest of Raw Squad has gotten themselves the northwestern side of Command Post. They are going to be isolating them and cutting a line through between these two teams and ensure that they don't get backstabbed or perhaps even get invaded by either of these teams. So they gotta have to keep their eyes open, gotta be sharp on their senses and see what exactly they can do. But it does seem like Bloody Heads is going to be the first one to intrude, is going to be the one to invade into the areas of Raw Squad, with Mark currently having a pretty low amount of health, a sliver of health if I could say that, and he's just going to be pretty much a-okay for now. But Yoon having the LMG just going to be gatekeeping at the top of this building and being able to bring one down for his team. So things are looking good at this watchtower. They are able to go for a 2-for-1 trade-off, it does seem, and things should be pretty much a-okay. I'm not too sure how this is gonna be, but Zuxon is just gonna be slowly heading himself into the opponent's side.
Yep, that's going to be Pox as well as they looking to break through. That's going to be Blank next to Fall. That's only going to mean one member left to the side of Bloody Head as the rest of his team is getting absolutely thirsted here. What initially started off to be an offensive from Bloody Head ended up turning on their heads, especially when they have a great sense of positioning for the side of Rar, making sure that they're on that crow's nest, and that's going to be Bloody Head being eliminated so early on this map of Kalahari.
Well, that's the first team down, and Raw Squad is looking at themselves with a great start once again. Raw Squad 4 kills already, and they haven't even lost a single soul in that fight. I guess it is relatively sad that Bloody Hats just decided to invade into the territory of where Raw Squad was, and they compromised all of their location, compromised everything that they had. And I would say, fortunately for Raw Squad as well, they decided to have one person right at the top of the watchtower, and that person comes in the form of Yoon. And he managed to get himself 2 good amount of knockdowns and totaling up to 2 kills. And I think that bird's eye view corner, that bird's eye view tower is something that really helped Raw Squad attain that victory.
Yeah, because I mean, just the overall layout of command posts, you do get to see quite a number of areas, and not to mention that the cover is quite short. Like most structures are either quite open-ended with their entrances and start from the that have 2 openings at the back and front, allowing you to kind of see into the structure. So even if you are protected by yourself, the rest of the members are just going to start flushing you out, and when you make that rotation, that's where the tower comes into play. But so far so good here, as now Nox is going to take pot shots at Raw this time, and they actually secure that kill, thirsting it from across the map. And that's what happens when you get into these early engagements. You give away position, you see the kill feed, you know exactly who is fighting, and you can start taking full advantage of the situation.
Exactly. So if you're No Escape and you manage to see the kill feed and being able to understand where the sounds is coming from, then that is kind of the thing that you would eventually be able to do, and you'll be like, hey, okay, we can take on Raw Squad, kind of thing going on about. And it does seem like they are unable to take against AXA Dream Team because of Zeke. Oh, a great number of deal, a great amount of damage is just raining onto No Escape. We're gonna be left with Shoyu as well as Rain in here. We do have Toby as well as Superman that have gotten themselves with a small little bird's eye view, not say bird's eye view, but the second story to deal against the members coming from No Escape. 2 men left coming from No Escape, and as well as a grenade being tossed right in, but unfortunately no one is behind the truck. Shoyu is inside of that small little building, and Rain is behind of that tree. They know that they had a numbers advantage, but that doesn't mean that they should be overly complacent and just run straight in the face of Rain, especially since Rain is equipped with an LMG.
I'm rather surprised that they actually dropped the grenade towards Shoyu's side rather than Rain's side, because look at the amount of open area and the little minimal cover that he has. Had that grenade landed in the right spot, that would have flushed him out and would have had the free kill.
Yep, good point. Especially since if your grenade is unable to kill him, then the other thing that's able to kill him is repositioning him, because you're zoning him out from his current area, and he just have to run away, right? Because you wouldn't want, as a receiving party, you wouldn't want to be nuked out by the frag grenade. So the only way that you can do things is to run away. And when you run away, you have no cover. And that would be the perfect opportunity for AXA Dream Team to lay down the firing squad on Rain. But now Rain knows that he's in a really bad position because the rest of the players coming in from AXA Dream Team decided to push right onto No Escape. And unfortunately for No Escape, that is going to be the end of the line for this Kalahari map. They're going to be knocked down by AXA Dream Team right now with 4 kills to their name.
And that's why you got to play the fundamentals of every battle royale. You need to be very aware of the map, and more so having your scouts double check these structures, because you can't just rotate willy-nilly. If not, you're going to end up like how this played out, where they just completely get destroyed and caught out of position with no real cover to play with. Had they had that information beforehand, I think that rotation would have been slightly different. But let's look at the overview of the map and where these teams are.
It does seem like the circle is just going to be enveloping almost the entirety of Kalahari. They have gotten themselves. There's the maze, there's Foundation, Refinery, Mammoth, Command Post as well. A great deal of places, but if I remember correctly from the amount of players that's just being flooding around the map, it does seem like the choke points is not very apparent. There is going to be a good amount of players in the northern from the northern side. So I suppose that, you know, this current circle doesn't really mean too much, and we shouldn't be expecting too much fights going on about. Perhaps the second circle, or perhaps even the third circle, we would be able to see some encounters between teams.
Yeah, and I mean, even though it's the first circle, we've already lost 2 teams in the process. To me, that's rather shocking so early on into the game that these teams are willing to take these fights at risk, especially when there are so many people out there that could look to third. But, you know, these are going to be some of the best, and they're going to have to finish off their fights almost as quick as they started them.
Yeah, I don't know how these teams are gonna be working out. Auto knockout, they're finding themselves in the center of the at the small little edge at the northwestern side of the circle. So they're looking pretty good, but it also means that they are trying to go for things a little bit more passively. They do not want to engage in unnecessary combat unless someone enters into the vicinity. And in the meantime, it does seem like Supreme Army Forces, McRory, and Judge has found themselves a good amount of members in the opposing side, getting themselves 2 kills to their name already. And it doesn't seem like they are going to be stopping from here on. Supreme Army Forces is just going to be continuing to bring down the land right onto LCMY Bosku. With 2 men left from LCMY Bosku, what exactly can they do? Because LCMY Kisik, I believe, he's just all alone now, because the other members has decided to go for a scouting mission.
Yeah, and I mean they've taken quite a number of knockdowns already. Like F-Cry, as you can see, has already been knocked down and he's bleeding out, but there's no way any of his teammates can actually come and get him. He's in such a vulnerable position that putting yourself there doesn't necessarily mean that you could rotate out of there. So you got to cut your losses at a certain point, and unfortunately for them, the gatekeeping was pretty effective.
Well, Supreme Army Forces, McRory pops up and was able to get himself an easy kill right onto Frank. It does seem like the gatekeeping potential in Foundation is looking to be pretty good, and they are really close to the extremities of the current circle as well, somewhere in the western side of the circle. So they can stay here for a while longer, wait for some straggling team to come in from absolutely nowhere and try to deal with them accordingly. But looking at it, it doesn't seem like there's anywhere or anyone around it. And from this bird's eye view, we've got a good shot and we've got a good view of a huge amount of teams over here. And as well as the fact that Mai is just going to be jumping right on top of the opponent. It doesn't seem like things are working well for Bosku. And Bosku is just going to be completely eliminated. And unfortunately for Bosku, they weren't able to get that knockdown right onto Genesis All-Stars. Or rather, they are unable to get that execution onto Fex.
Yeah, it's really good that the fact that it's still only just the second circle, so it doesn't hurt that bad, but they got to get in sooner rather than later. They don't have to worry about the resistance coming into it, but this map is getting really, really small, and this area of effect is going to be hurting some of these teams, but they got to be just chilling by the corner, waiting for an opportunity before they start moving into the circle. GS looking strong so far, but nobody is going to push back against them just yet.
I have no idea where from, but Auto Knockout has found themselves with 3 kills already. Even though they have been playing in the same vicinity, they have been hiding inside the same place for the longest time ever. But hey, if it works, it works. They have one man that's gonna be very close to them, and that is going to be Insanity from AV Elite. As long as he makes his way closer into the circle, I'm pretty sure that Auto Knockout will be able to spot him out, and his positioning will be compromised then. The amount of teams that are still 4 strong seems to be still seems to be relatively huge. We do have Supreme Army Forces being one of them, and we do have Auto Knockout being one of them as well. I'm not too sure about the other teams, but this is going to be a tough game for almost every teams here.
Yeah, especially on the southern side. I mean, the UAV is going to be revealing quite a bit of information about what the landscape is going to be looking like, especially between squads 5 and 1, who are about to go into a huge engagement here. Auto knockouts, they could take full advantage of this and rotate down to pick up as many kills as they can before that circle closes in.
We do have Genesis All-Stars just going to be trying to get themselves into the circle as soon as possible. But unfortunately, the UAV is right at the top of their heads. The question is, would people be able to find them out and try to deal with them? It does seem like Raw Squad is just going to do exactly that. Being able to knock one down. Mie is just getting himself wounded by the circle as well as being shot down by Fudan. And just like that, things are looking really, really grim coming in for them. I'm not too sure about Genesis All-Stars though, but you know, there could be a possibility that they could be wiped out over here. But luckily for Star, I'm not too sure if whether it's luckily or not, but there's another member that's going to be on his left side. But it doesn't seem to matter that much because in the end, Raw Squad has gotten themselves with yet another kill to their name.
All right, it's going to be Special Army making sure that they are holding them back on the southern side of the circle. They know that the heaviest, most populated area down on the southern side are relatively close to each other. But on the north side, you can see H2G moving into that circle. The nades are coming through. The position is looking very nice for Special Armies, for Special Army right now. But it's going to be a poking game. There's so many squads in the vicinity, and some even lurking around to take full advantage of those knockdowns.
And Hard to Get is finally gotten themselves on the kill feeds as they managed to bring 2 men down coming in from Supreme Army Forces. The rest of the members coming in from Hard to Get is going to be on the eastern side, closer to Bayfront. We do have Dream Team, AXA Dream Team at the northern side, gatekeeping and dealing some good amount of damage. While in the meantime, Special Army MY is still 4 men strong as well, trying to bring down the glue wall being deployed from Auto Knockout. Hard to Get Batman is now bringing down the lad coming in from his LMG. I'm not too sure exactly where and how things are going to be like, but it does seem like coming in for Auto Knockout, they are really close to Special Army MY. They're just going to be trading shots, trading less. They're trying to fill their opponents with holes as much as possible. And here we have the grenade launcher coming from Mirul. Brings Funan down, but Jabat brings another one of the trade coming in. 2 men down coming from coming in from Auto Knockout. I'm not too sure how things are going to be like for now, but the amount of glue wall that's currently being shot out coming in from Auto Knockout is coming to be really strong. But Sonic, he's not gonna give any damn to all those glue walls being deployed. He's just going to be going all out against those glue walls and bring them down accordingly. And now Special Army MY finds himself with yet another team fight. Does Minato trying to get himself closer and closer into the building and trying to vault himself out, but it doesn't seem like he's going to be looking for that kind of team fights at all. And here we have a split screen. Zen calls her out from the right side of the glue wall. He brings one down, but how about the rest? How is this going to be making things out for now? Sonic, low amount of health, or rather he's been knocked out already. Minato just going to be back flank coming in, and Special Army MY is just going to be promptly knocked out from the game, while Hard to Get comes in from the other side, and so will Auto Knockout. Things are starting to be coming up to become quite a disaster, punishing everyone and anyone who comes into contact with any of the players right here. With 3 teams remaining, 7 members remaining, how is the players going to be working themselves out here? Auto Knockout, 3 men remaining. Special Army Forces, it does seem like they do have 2 members remaining as well. And just like that, we do have Shura at the top of this ridge. He does have the bird's eye view. SAS hides below of this ridge, and that is going to be so good for them. But a naughty shot coming in for Auto Knockout. 1-man knockout. 2 versus 2 versus 2 situation right about here, but unfortunately Auto Knockout will be able to get a kill on the Hard to Get, and that is exactly what Auto Knockout needs to do, getting themselves a total of 11 kills to their name. They know exactly where SAF is. He props up the glue wall. He tries to do something about this, but in the end, Shura just going to be hiding behind the glue wall, but unfortunately another member, which is Mr. D, just going to be running himself to the right side, but unfortunately the over-complacency coming from him is just going to be punishing him, and here we have Shura, drops right out, but he's punished, I say, and the Booyah is just going to be given away to Supreme Army Forces.
Oh, what a last circle that was from what used to be 3 dominant teams and a couple of lurkers looking to try and play for position, ending up to be a complete total blowout as SAF managed to take this game out, even though they didn't exactly have the best of position against Auto Knockout, who had high ground, making sure that they were getting so many kills because they had a full view and there was no cover within that last circle. They couldn't seem to get in. Even Hard to Get got absolutely destroyed and shredded by Auto Knockout's positioning, but SAF, they managed to get in nice and close. They played the low ground so well.
Well, in the end, it's quite a pity that Auto Knockout wasn't able to get themselves the Booyah, but ultimately they still managed to get themselves a total of 12 kills, which is really formidable already, right? It's so formidable, and they are definitely going to be climbing up the leaderboards if they are able to keep this up. The amount of points that they are able to earn for themselves just from this Kalahari round means a lot. But when it comes to Purgatory, things may be slightly different. The good thing is, for this map, it does seem like No Escape has been eliminated pretty early into the game, which is quite a nemesis to many of the teams over here.
Yeah, I have to totally agree, but you know, especially for Auto Knockout, who is looking currently at 5th place, they needed that Booyah because that would have been able to shoot them up, at least contesting for the top 4 spots, there, and maybe arguably even overtaking a No Escape if they keep up their performance, because they're looking good. They just needed to close out that game clean.
Well, SAF is just gonna be getting themselves a total of 30 points. Auto knockout with 41 points, and that is a huge leap away from SAF, and that is mainly because of the amount of kills that Auto knockout was able to get. They went for good amount of vouchering, good amount of third partying action going on about. We have seen them all the way from the start to the end. It's really tough for me to even put a finger on how Auto Knockout has gotten themselves a huge bunch of kills. I think that only came in like the fifth or the fourth circle, fifth or fourth circle in.
Yeah, because they were gatekeeping, and were looking to play for position at the end, towards the end of that round. And as they did, they were just picking up a lot of these lurkers, people who have come out with a lot of their casualties of their squads, and being 1v4 isn't exactly the best position to be playing from. And especially since that last circle had almost no cover to work with, forcing a lot of people to use their glue walls if they get gatekeeped. And we already saw towards that end there, the glue walls had already been deployed. There is nothing less left that they had, so they just had to play the landscape, and SAF did a really good job at that.
Yep. Well, what do you think about the final team fight? Right, it is between Supreme Armed Forces as well as what was it? Auto knockout, yeah, Auto knockout, right?
Auto
Because
knockout.
they're just kind of they're just kind of really excited. All the blood is pumping, boiling, and they just really want to go and get a kill because it does seem like Auto knockout has gotten themselves in a pretty good position, but they just decided to just swing hard right to try to deal with Supreme Armed Forces. What do you think of that?
I mean, initially it was a very good idea of getting somebody towards that right side on the low ground, low to mid ground, just so that they can have some information of how close they are. Because again, when you're that high up, it's not too much of an incline, but it's just enough such that if you hug the wall close enough, you won't actually have an angle down into low ground. So very smart decision making. I just think when it comes to that, came down to that execution, that 1v2, because they got that initial pick for the side of Auto Knockout. Then it became so much. They got really, really confident. They even bothered to drop down, and that's where you whip out that shotgun and really show them the burst damage up close, which a lot of teams definitely need to be more wary of.
Well, they have to. Expect that the shotgun is just going to be whipped out from absolutely nowhere then, because you would want to take all the long range fights as much as possible, but it's kind of debatable, right? If you're too close, you get shotgun in the face. If you're too far, you get sniped in the face. It's an either or situation, so you kind of have to evaluate and understand what kind of guns that does this person have. How can I play this game towards my advantage just so that I have full control of this final fight, especially since there is a storm that's rushing us, really just pressuring us as much as possible there.
I think it's also the biggest argument that like a lot of maybe for me personally, I don't like taking that 50-50 when it comes to that mechanical skill when you get that close, because that auto aim isn't going to necessarily help you. It's going to come down to whether your hip fire is on point. And unfortunately for Auto Knockout, SAF just had the better hip fire overall, managing to clutch that round out. I would have thought that they shouldn't have pushed too far out. They should have just kept it at about a mid-range, because at least then they could start playing around the strafes. They could start using the man advantage to really start hunkering down those angles. And it's a much safer line of play rather than to, run down, look to shotgun, drop those glue walls in hopes to may or may not pick up the kill. It's a tough situation, but maybe it's something they can learn from.
Yeah, indeed. I think that the center of the circle was actually right on top of Supreme Armed Forces. I'm not too sure though, but there could be a possibility that the circle is right smack in the center, right where he was. That is why Auto Knockout decided to be, a little bit desperate. Perhaps they were weighing the pros and cons. We have two men against one man, and the circle is coming. The circle is just going to be consuming us soon. So we have to do something about this. We have to go out and kill him, no matter what it takes. But all in all, they didn't get the booyah. They lost like 2 points, or rather 4 points, because of a single kill and the additional placement. Or was it 3 points? It's 3 points. So total, they kind of lost like 5 points from that one. If they manage to get the booyah, then that is like 45 points in the bag already, and it's just going to propel them further into the leaderboards, which would have been absolutely insane. right?
Yeah, and I think that would have been really, really great for them, especially since Baby Argon didn't do too well in their first couple of in their first two maps of the day. So that would have really set the pace for a lot of these other teams looking to vouch for those top 4 spots. And maybe arguably No Escape as of right now still pretty secure in their position. There's quite a large differential. So the only way they're going to be catching up is to actually get those kill points and the booyah to really close that gap.
Indeed. I mean, it is still tough to say, right? Because at first, I was thinking like the top three, or rather the strongest 3, very likely is going to be No Escape, Auto Knockout, as well as Hard to Get. Hard to Get, they were pretty decent this round, and I think that they have managed to bring some good amount of kills to their name. Auto Knockout, understandably, yes, a total of like 40 points for themselves right here, and for No Escape, they have been dominating in the previous game. Unfortunately for this map in Kalahari, this specific match, it didn't quite work out that well for them. So hopefully, when it comes to the next round in Purgatory, because that is going to be their last try for today, they need to pull out something. They need to pull their trump card out.
Yeah, they got to make some things work. They really do. And, a lot of performances has been varying for a lot of these teams, very dependent on these maps. I think overall, the most neutral one has to be Bermuda for a lot of the teams. They're very comfortable in it. But once you go into Kalahari and Purgatory, you're going to have to use that knowledge to your advantage, because a lot of it comes down to predicting where the next circle is going to be, whether or not you're going to be able to have the right weapons for it. And there's only a very few very small situations whereby you get caught off guard. For example, you get thirded. Okay, you were expecting a third, but if you get fourth, all right, that's a little too over the top. And the one final aspect that most people don't ever see coming, because by the time they realize it, it's too late, are power weapons. Just AWMs, grenade launchers. Every single time you see them, you're just a little too late to react to them. Boom, you just get sniped out of nowhere, or you just lose your structure because of it.
Yeah, there's something that grenade launchers is nutty. It's really nutty. We'll see whether we'll be able to see another grenade launcher coming in for this game, because we are looking at the second match between B versus C. I mean, when it comes to grenade launchers, what are your views of it? Do you find something? Okay, from a receiver party, right? Let's say you got killed by a grenade launcher. Will you be like, oh man, what a good shot? Or you'll be like, skillless?
No, I'm definitely one of those. I'm definitely one of those where it's like I'm having a hot game. I've got like 12 kills in my pocket. I'm looking really, really good. I'm trying to finish off this game, and all of a sudden someone walks up with a grenade launcher and just noob tubes me. Then yeah, I will have to admit I would be very salty too. Very, very salty.
I mean that would have been me. I was just casually running around, and it's just like, hey, a guy. I'm just going to be firing a good amount of lead onto him, pop him up with few holes, and kaboom! Wait, where did my arm go? Wait, where did my head go? That kind of things, and just like it grinds my gears. It definitely grinds my gears. But in the meantime, we're gonna be jumping into Purgatory, and with unfortunately for Supreme Armed Forces, it does seem like they are finding themselves in a really tight spot against Auto Knockout. Could this be a vengeance game coming from Auto Knockout, because they are just going to be replaying what happened in the previous round? Mirul brings one down. He tries to get a kill on the Garute, but it doesn't seem like he's managed to connect the dots just yet. But a huge amount of members coming from Supreme Armed Forces has been knocked out from Auto Knockout. This is vengeance, ladies and gentlemen. Hands down vengeance.
Look at them. They're running him down. Garut, where are you going to run to? He's trying to make a break for the riverbanks here, but so far he lost at least all of his team members. He's the last he is the last 20% of his team, and whether or not he's going to be able to come out of this and get some points is going to be really tough. But yeah, as you mentioned, just some instant retribution coming out from Auto Knockout.
That is pretty funny if you ask me. So we're just like what, 2 minutes into the game, and we've got one entire team that's already been knocked out by its 80% already, because we're only left with one man left coming in for them, and it's just not something that I would be expecting coming from SAF. They are doing pretty well actually for this week, even though they are at the bottom half of the leaderboards. I would really like to hope and see them climbing up to the top 12, because when that happens, that's gonna create such a great narrative.
Yeah, I think it's just like what 4 to 5 teams really competing to try and make it into that top 12, and they have some relatively close amount of points. Like one booyah for any one of these teams will shoot them into that top 12. So it really is going to be a back and forth for this week, and it's going to be do or die for a lot of these teams. But let's check it out. It's going to be GS versus DT here. Both of them looking for looking for their opposition as Genesis All Stars looks to rotate around this structure. They are. Oh wait, he did spot him out, and unfortunately he does with the first initial shot. That's going to alert them to his position. He tries to turn the corner, but he's reloading his weapon. That's going to be being taken out. The scout is gone.
Oh man, you know, when it comes to today, right, it does seem like AXA Dream Team, Genesis All-Stars, Supreme Armed Forces, they are really putting their name out there, while the other members, the other teams in today's brackets, in the lower part of the brackets, such as Eclipse, we've got LCMY Bosku, LCMY Gregory. Wait, they are doing pretty okay. Legends Rumble is not doing that well. I think Special Army MY isn't doing that well as well. But you know, these three teams is just putting themselves out there. AXA, like I said, AXA Dream Team. We've got Genesis All Stars, and definitely we also have Supreme Armed Forces. We should look out for them.
Yeah, and that's the kind of the points that I was trying to bring up very early on in the day, especially since this is like the halfway point. They are just realizing, oh yeah, we're kind of running out of time to get these points, so if we don't start collecting them from here on out, we might just be left behind. And especially since the bottom 4 teams are going to get cut, the top 12 is going to be fighting extra hard, especially around that 12th place position. It's really just absolute warfare from everybody as they get more and more aggressive, look to get more and more points, and really start shifting the tables in the leaderboards.
I don't know how either of these teams are going to play. We still have 11 teams remaining because none of the teams has been knocked out just yet. And now I believe that the circle is just going to be slowly closing in as well. Or is it going to be announced? Can't really tell much. But, well, we will take a look at the map in a while later. But looking at the rest and how these players have, how these teams have put themselves out there, it does seem like for Special Army MY, they have found themselves in a nice little place right next to Mammoth. They should be pretty okay. I'm not too sure about that. Is it? Is this?
It's kind of hard to say because well, I mean, overall, I think what's the most important thing is where the next circle is going to be. It is going to start off pretty slow. In number of picks, especially on Purgatory, Purgatory and the amount of early engagement frags, first drop frags, is very, very low in comparison to a map like Kalahari, where everybody is kind of forced to take each other on super quickly. But, you know, we're going to have to wait until the second or third circle to get a much better idea of what the landscape of how the later half of this round is going to be.
Yep, and now we have AXA Dream Team. They're just gonna be wrapping side of the reservoir right on the riverbank, and they could very well come very, very close to an anniversary, and that is going to come in the form of Genesis All Stars. And if a fight is were to break out, it is going to be a 2 versus 2, while the other 2 members. Oh no, Toby is able to spot out facts. I don't think that is going to be immediately going up for the future. Oh wait.
Do they not realize it? Do they not realize that the Dream Team is on the run? They now have figured it all out. They figured it all out that Lumber Mill is not safe, but they're going to look for the one unfortunate straggler here. Yes, they are making sure that they have spotted them out by the Lumber Mills here. Frank is going to be the first to follow this Dream Team, looking to start pushing forward. Star quickly drops the blue wall to get some cover here, but he's out in the open. FX, he's got to get on out of there as Genesis All Stars have already lost 2 of their members. Now it's just going to be left to Star and Fix to make sure that they can carry the rest of the team and look for those points, because right now we can see that Genesis All Stars just all over the place.
I don't know about this, man. Genesis All Stars is now eliminated because Star is just hiding inside of the small little crevice inside of the log piles. And, well, AXA Dream Team have gotten themselves with 4 kills to their name. They are really cranking up the numbers for today. Something has changed. Something definitely has changed.
It's just a new mentality coming into this, but we're looking at the next fight. It's going to be Nox versus RAR once again. We've seen this matchup in the previous maps before, but now RAR, this time, they're looking to try not and lose. They both have suffered casualties on either side of the map, but look at the amount of cover in the landscape. It's an incline for sure, but it's a very horizontal axis that they're going to be fighting on, as the rest of the team's going to be hiding behind these trees. I don't think they can really push up safely, especially since that incline is going to give high ground advantage to Hazik, who is just sitting right above them.
Yeah, it's kind of tough for any of these teams to be able to make full use of the terrain, but regardless of that fact, it does seem like we are finding ourselves in the point of view of auto knockout. Mr. D, he definitely brought down quite the slug shot on the opponents, and he's definitely wanting to get out of kill on Red Panda, but the grenade launcher, ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment where you feel bad for auto knockout, and this is the moment where you face away from the microphone and say, "Skillless!" Oh my god.
I think I just had flashbacks right there. Like, that clutch from Mr. D was looking so good. He turned a 1v4 into a 2v1 so quickly. He was making sure that his shots landed, playing through those corners, making sure he was using the structure to his advantage with a short-range weapon. But in the end, it just didn't matter when somebody had a freaking grenade launcher and used it indoors, a complete safety hazard, but it didn't matter because they just wanted to stop the momentum coming out of Mr. D.
Indeed. You know, the funny thing is that the grenade didn't even land anywhere close to the floor or close to him at all, because, you know, grenade launcher, they lobs, right? So it kind of destroyed the ceiling and destroyed him in the process as well, and that is definitely not something that they were expecting. Hands down, they did not expect that the grenade were to just completely detonate at the ceiling.
Absolutely, but you know, at the very least, they stopped that momentum, and more importantly, he didn't actually get that thirst. So at least they minimized the amount of casualties they could have gotten, because it could have been much worse had Mr. D continued on his rampage.
That is true. That is true. Sorry about that. And things are looking pretty good for this round already, because, well, auto knockout is now out. They have been, you know, automatically knocked out. But, you know, they are not in this round anymore. And perhaps that is going to pave the way for many of the other underdog teams for this round.
Yeah, and speaking of underdog teams, right, especially in the situations like this, they're going to be looking to fight even harder than these top tier teams. And when the people who are sitting on top, it really just shows consistency in their line of play. But for the lower teams, they definitely need to make sure that they're racking up the points as much as they can. And it's not about getting those big bursts of points and those big booyahs. It's really just about consistently collecting it over a period of time so that they maintain their position before going really hard towards the last couple of weeks.
And playing consistently is not really something that you can control that much as well, because you can't exactly, you know, predict your enemy's movements. You can kind of only draw assumptions. You draw assumptions based on their playstyle, and of course, being able to hear around what's going on here, what's going on there, where would have been the best movement, the best pathing to go to deal with this current circle kind of thing. It is very tough to be consistent, and it does seem like we have a decent amount of teams that has been pretty consistent coming in, and I think that No Escape is definitely one of the consistent teams with, I think, a total of 5 or 6 booyahs now, and a huge amount of kills too.
Yeah, we were even looking at the stats of Red Panda just now. He had like at least 1.9k worth of damage, even 4 kills under his belt. He's really making work of these teams here, but looking at SA once again, a special army is looking pretty decent so far. I definitely think they could be looking to get a little bit better, but the Dream Team currently on fire, going to take on H2G from across the map. The difference is that they have structures, while H2G, they have structures for the side of Dream Team, while H2G are forced to kind of look for that flank, because this is going to be a tough position from the Storm side. They're going to have to start pushing up into the structures to really start punishing Dream Team here. Wise taking a good amount of shots as H2G move in with their superior numbers.
And just like that, we are gonna be slowly looking at how this team is gonna deal with this current storm. Hard to get is gonna be laying down the ledge right onto the AXA Dream Team. Will they be able to successfully do this though? It's just gonna be lobbing grenades over and trying to zone Superman out. And he successfully was able to zone him out and just immediately take him down right in front of his glue walls. They just have to deal with one more people or perhaps a few more in this sense. Hard to get. All four of them still remains, and Batman says hello! But he's gonna get shot out by X-Gen, only to be eliminated by the storm. So, all in all, things are looking pretty okay for Hard to Get. Even though they have a single casualty, he still can be picked up. No problems whatsoever. But No Escape comes in from behind, and would definitely want to get that third-party action going about.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Oh, wait, H2G actually landed the shots on to show you there coming in from Nox. And I mean, just as you were saying, yeah, they should be fine. All of a sudden, Nox comes in from the back to make something happen, but Voidface, he's looking to get up and personal with the SMG to secure that thirst. That's going to be one onto Rain. Is he going to get the kill? Yes, he does. Secures the thirst as the team looks to push on up from low ground into the high. And oh boy, they got to be careful. Hazik, he is holding that grenade launcher. He's going to be finding that first pickup. No, he doesn't. He actually loses the gunfight.
He got flanked away from the other side, and now Voiceface is a little bit too close for comfort now. He lobs grenades over, and he gets it! He frags him! He exploded the opponents into a bazillion pieces! Blood flying everywhere, and Hard to Get has gotten a total of 5 kills to their name, with 7 teams and 22 men alive.
Holy, what a grenade that was. He was cooking it just perfectly, knowing that he wanted to get the res, really started to style on them towards the end there, but that just means that Nox is going to get knocked out really early on as the 8th place team, while the rest of H2G, now feeling themselves a little bit more, are going to go on the offensive, going for these bigger chases.
And now the circle is going to be flushing out Special Army MY right into the circle as soon as possible. But it does seem like they will have some problems coming in here, because we have AV Elise just going to be waiting for them at the other side of this compound. But here, wait, what? How? I have no idea how that happened, but AV Elise managed to get that grenade launcher in and getting a knockdown on the Funan. But I don't think that is the end just yet, because Djibouti gets a shot down on the Minato, coming in from the other members coming in from Special Army MY. But AV Elite, they are going to be rushing in. They're going to be breaching into the territory of Special Army MY. 2 men knocked down, executed. But Insanity, wait, he's not executed just yet. He's been picked up. And the rest of AV Elite are definitely going to get their way in very, very soon. But in the meantime, just to let you guys know, Bloody Heads managed to bring down 2 members coming in from the opponent's side as well. A good amount of members coming in is just going to be knocked down over and over again. But we are going to put our attention right down onto AV Elite versus Special Army MY, with a good amount of glue walls being brought out. But Japan came in right time. Zusen is going to be the last one remaining, but he's just going to be putting down the lead onto Funan. He manages to. He falls in. He runs out. He gets the face stab. Oh! Red Panda completely outplayed the opponents. Total of 70 kills to his name.
AV Elite are going to be, if they can get a booyah as well, they're going to be having some sick number of points. He's trying to go run and get into that vehicle. He should be able to get the heal off in the meantime. But oh my goodness, that's going to be AV Elite. They're going to be taken out. They're going to be taken out here, unfortunately. But H2G coming in pretty big, as well as Bloody Heads. They've done it once. Now they're going to get an AWM one more time. They're making sure that they're landing the shots. However, the vests are going to keep them alive just enough to continue on fighting, and that's going to be another kill for H2G. Bloody Heads looking to take out Roar already on the opposite side of the maps, and now we've got 3 teams remaining. Who is going to get on top?
Bloody Head with a total of 4 kills to their name. They already have Bosku in their sights already, and they are pretty far. But the good thing is that the rest of the members coming from Bloody Head is just going to be making their way to the southern part of the current circle. And here we have Blank gets one down right on the Bosku. That's what they needed. Agarute is just going to be knocked down, or rather he's just going to be stuck in the corner. He's going to have his back against the wall. He have nowhere else to run. We have a good amount of members coming from Bloody Head that will be flushing him inside of the house, and he is pretty much dead meat. And with two teams alive, Bloody Head, all 4 of them is still pretty healthy. The rest of Bosku, they're just trying to get themselves closer and closer into the center of the circle. How he thinks it's gonna be working out for Cal. How about Sawi? How about FCRY? I don't know. But the circle is gonna be flushing the rest of Bosku coming out very, very soon. It's just gonna be a 4 versus 3. Alright, the 4 versus 2 right now. Cal in the center. No way. He can defend himself against the rest of the team coming from Bloody Heads. And just like that, Bloody Heads managed to win the fight against this very, very weird fight. The opponents, Bosku, they're just separated, right? It's a good kind of separation, but I guess there's a form of communication breakdown at the last moment.
Well, I do think that Bosku actually pulled off a pretty interesting way for that last circle splitting into 2. But we'll talk about that a little bit more right after we go through that score. Starting off with the first rank, Bloody Heads coming up with a score of 38, pretty huge. As Bosku followed up in second and third, as the rest of the team slowly trying to catch up in terms of that kill. And let's talk about that last fight, because Bosku, as you mentioned, yes, they did split up into 2, and yes, they did initially get the pickoffs, but they set up a really good crossfire. And in this situation, when you set up a crossfire, they can only look at one side at a time. So once they get that initial pickoff, it starts snowballing out of control. And Bloody Head, if they didn't have those power weapons with the grenade launchers as well as the AWM, I think that fight might have gone a lot more differently than what we expected.
Actually, yeah, not gonna lie, it does seem like the power weapons is gonna be the one that really kind of seals the deal, right? Because the amount of, the amount of lead that the members coming in from Bosku that they have, one person is, okay, just gonna say that the one that is all right smack in the center, I'm not a big fan of him being right smack in the center, but it's okay. I feel that it's okay if he kind of wraps around the extremities of the circle and create a crossfire from the complete northern side, cut off the entirety of the northern side. I think that would be absolutely perfect, because they already knew that that the opponents were making their way closer and closer to the center of the circle. So if you kind of cut off the northern side, you have 2% shooting from 1 o'clock as well as 11 o'clock. They really don't have the right angles against you, especially if you pop down the glue walls. Things will be a lot more unexpected. You wouldn't know when the opponent is going to take some pot shots on you. And I think that would have made things so good, because the opponents right smack in the center, you are susceptible to fire from literally 360 degrees.
Yeah, and I think with that in mind, you could literally see some of the members of Bloody Head actually getting frustrated at the crossfire at hand. You could see them, oh yeah, I'm just going to be using my AUG, okay, this really sucks. I can't seem to get this guy. He's not dying just yet. He switches over to the grenade launcher, like falling into that hole of like, all right, I don't feel like losing right now, and I can't afford to give you points, so I'm sorry, bro, but you're about to get noob-tubed.
Oh my god. That pretty much sounds like what happened in his head. Right? It kind of seems like it.
That's what I imagined it sounded.
Let's have a fair, skillful fight in the final circle, and they're just like, oh, you're gonna do me a dirty, I'm gonna do you a dirty, kind of thing on about.
Yeah, but so far these games have been absolutely great.
Indeed. Bloody Heads, they just came out from absolutely nowhere. They are in the middle of the leaderboards, if I am not wrong. So with this great amount of kills, this amount of points, I think that they should be able to put themselves in a relatively safe position, somewhere in the 8th position, somewhere in the top 8 or somewhere like that, because the last time we saw Bloody Head was in position number 10, post week number 2. So we don't really know a lot of that information just yet, because we have just concluded match number 2 between Group B versus Group C. So that is it for Group C. That is it for Group B. We will be looking at Group A versus C, which will be the final grouping for today. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with you guys for more intense Free Fire action.
Squad already with 4 kills. Maybe they wiped out a squad early on that we didn't catch on screen, but none other than that, teams are going to be relatively passive and going to be camping onto the buildings, holding onto their grounds and not going to make any extended movements. But we can see GS Star Genesis is going to be making a move towards rotation. It might rotate to the center of the map because they're right outside Catalyst to
As well as I believe for X-Men is already down and eliminated, and now we are looking at a confrontation between GS as well as Raw Squad. How exactly is this going to be? Well, in the meantime, we're also going to be taking a look at how to get. They did manage to deploy out their cover and just to make sure that there is going to be some cover in between of themselves and the opponents. But Bosco is just going to be eliminated and takes place while Sunny Fu is just going to be hitting right out from this cover. Picks one right on Raw Squad. He's just going to be waiting for the opportunity to just run straight in. And Raw Squad, unfortunately for them, is going to be
the LMG to shoot down those globals and attempt to kill onto the opposing team, onto the Rule Special Army MY is going to be really dangerous right there. This is a replay that just went out, so Special Army MY has been taken out and lie in this team, ladies and gentlemen, and the circle shifted away towards them. But Auto Knockout is right around the edge of the circle. They couldn't have the chance to make a play, but Shoyu is going to attempt to make a play as well. He has the shotgun in hand. Will he go for an aggressive push and eventually get 1 or 2 picks for themselves and secure the top 5 spots for themselves? But I'm not sure about this abstract. I'm not sure about what Shoyu is going to do, but this is looking very dire for Team No Escape and looking very good for Auto Knockout. Is going to be pinching Eclipse right around the corner with together with 4X-Men. This is going to be a 3-way fight, ladies and gentlemen. Abella dropping really low, Anga dropping very low, but 4X-Men is going to be pushed out. Once will be instantly dropped down, melted down by the MP40. Logan will be dropping down. Abella is just running in with the MP40. X-Units will be dropping down. Anga will be dropping down back as well. Baby Argon with the back with the third party going on. And Baby Argon is going to push in with the advantage that they knew, lobbing grenades up front, back and center. They know that Eclipse is nowhere to go, and they know for a fact that Forex fans nowhere to go. They're going to be chasing down onto Abella. And right now, Forex fans running away for their lives. 1 man left remaining, 2 men remaining in the fact, but Cobra will get the kill onto Abella, and Eclipse will be wiped out. And Auto Knockout is really in a tight spot. Miro with 70 HP left managed to pop a glow wall right before he gets dropped down instantly, gets the kill off, gets everything up online. He's back to full HP, but he has to rotate as soon as possible. Circle is closing as possible, but grenades ain't lobbed down. Oh, Mr. D! He's not looking good, he's not looking safe. LCMI Bosco is just right around corner. Miro gets dropped down onto this stage. I don't think he's gonna get picked up. He's gonna be leaving him behind. He's gonna attempt for the kill. He's sniping him down on the leg, but oh my god, the grenade just kills him off. And LCMI Bosco just running over. He's just running over Auto Knockout right now. Auto Knockout has been. These two teams are confronting each other. They want to demolish each other off. They want to run each other down. Just dropping very low. Raw Squad. My next will be dropping really low as well. Just will get dropped down by Boo. And this is going insane. My next will be still alive and allowed to be picked up. But Boo will get knocked out by McRory. Good teamwork coming off from the side of Super Forces. 2 versus 4. Susan still very dangerous. He has the glow wall, but not much to work with because the SKS is going to be dealing up. Oh my god, Susan will get the knock onto McRory instead, and Raw Squad still 3 will get the kill, but oh, Force will get dropped down by me from the other side of the map. Frank will be shooting down on themselves as well. Force dropped down already. They have to move quick, they have to move fast because 7 seconds left onto the 7 circle has been moved. Frank pushing up with the melee weapon will be attempting for the aggressive plays. Will he pop the glow wall instead for the push? But no, he holds on to the sniper rifle. Sorry, shoots down onto me. Goals being popped. Will be saving themselves for a little bit of bullets, but oh, circle commission game. Frank has the advantage on them. Shotgun in play. Cal, will he get the kill? Cal dropping very low. Solby dropping very low as well, trying to go on kill up, but oh, Solby gets killed as well. Last minute member line, Bosco, and there we go. Bosco will get eliminated, and
Mr. D from Auto Knockout from the other side of the wall. They are still inside of the circle and they should still be pretty much A-okay. But they have their eyes up onto the northern side. A lot of members is still inside of the circle, or rather really close to the circle. However, hard to get though. The glue wall pops. Mr. D pops another part of the glue wall. A good amount of shots that's gonna be landed on Batman, but oh! That shot immediately knocks Batman down. Goodbye, Batman. No more Batarang for you to be tossing all around the map.
Only man alive. Right now, Azrael Bosco count. 1 man left alive in this particular match. I don't think he will do anything great just yet. He's being pinned down. And right now, members from 4X-Men showing up really strong this game. He's going to be moving.
Hello, hello! Welcome back to our coming third series in week 3, day 1, Free Fire Tri Nation Cup, ladies and gentlemen. Well, by the way, we have just ended series 2 and well, it was intense. Yeah, not to forget, I would like to mention Free Fire game is the most downloaded mobile game globally in 2019, if you have no idea about that. So, by the way, yeah, I have watched this series too, and it got really intense because what I expected, no escape and the top 3 team, hard to get. Yeah, both of them probably will get some booyah right there, but they didn't. They did manage to get, and Bloody Hate and SAF managed to gain booyah in there. These two teams are the Philippines teams. They are known to be very aggressive. I mean, most of the Philippines team, they are playing aggressively instead of like safe play, staying there to wait for opponent, But now they are climbing up with 2 booyahs right here with Philippines team. What do you think about that, guys? So what's wrong, or what does that matter to No Escape right now?
I think for No Escape, they are still on a high rolling spree. I think that they should be pretty a-okay, despite that they didn't win the previous round, but they did manage to win one of the match, the first match in the previous bracket, if I remember correctly, and it was a huge lead in points. I think that it was like 10 points lead, and considering the fact that in the post results of week number 2, they are a huge amount of points ahead. About 60 points ahead of hard to get, right? 60 points.
Mm-mm.
So we're just gonna add on to that
64,
40 points that they have, and I think it is fair to say that should be maintaining that 60 points. So it doesn't really matter a lot as to who has been getting a lot of booyahs back then or whatsoever. As long as they're playing consistently, No Escape should be pretty safe on top.
I mean, you say they're coming pretty safe on top, but I think, at the end of the day, it comes down to consistency. If they get knocked out early and anybody in the top 4 decides to step things up, they get a couple of kills and get a couple of booyahs, that could easily change it, because that 40-point margin in 2 games, that's an 80-point margin. If No Escape dropped the ball twice, I think somebody hard to get, Baby Argon, they have a very good opportunity to really just take them over. So it's one of those things where No Escape is looking not to lose more than they are trying to not get knocked off from top spot.
Yeah, that's right. I totally agree with Jijeon, because now we still have like a Group C versus Group A game, and Group A is not that much challenging compared to Group B. I mean, to Group C. I mean, Group C, while they're playing, they would probably think like, Group A is probably better to play with than Group B, because No Escape is in Group B. So now Group C probably might be performing even better in this last 2 games. So yeah, I am pretty excited to see if maybe some of the team AKO and hard to get, probably they would climb up to the top to challenge No Escape at the top place. So by the way, ladies and gentlemen, right now we have the result coming out for series 2. Let's check it out. All right here is the match 1 in series 2. We can see Auto Knockout have placement in second just now with total point 41 secured, because the total kill points of 24 in just 1 game. That is a little bit insane. 12 kills. That is the top of the day, actually. All right, the second, Supreme Assault Forces get Booyah, and with total point 30 of the day, and hard to get 3rd place, 29 points. AXA Dream Team 23. Raw Squad 22, Special Army, Mai got 18 at the 6th position. And now we have 7, Genesis All-Star with 8 points, AV Elite 6 points. Unfortunately, our top listing, who are No Escape, now is at 4, and now it's at 9th position with 4 total points in match 1. And LCMY Boss Crew 3 points, Bloody Hate 1 point, unfortunately. Alright, right here we have the match 2 result. We can see Bloody Hate got Booyah. Not only that, they secure a lot of kills point with 18 in total, which overall they get 38 in only match 2. AV Elite 26. I would say AV Elites really impressed me today, because they were performing really well in the past 2 games. So I'm looking forward what's going to happen the next 2 games too. And Hard to Get as well, performing really well today. 24 in total. LCMY Boss School number 4. With 21 points. Raw Squad 17, Supreme Assault Forces 15. Here you go with 7 AXA Dream Team, 11 point. No Escape once again dropped down at the lowest bracket in these two games with only 10 points getting right here. Auto Knockout 8 points, Special Army MY 8 points, Genesis All Star 1 point. Well, it is pretty challenging to No Escape. Definitely the last two games, even though they performed really well in the first two games. But yeah, we really have to watch out the total score later on. And well, before we are starting the series 3, I would say that I'll highlight a little bit about Hard to Get. They might, because they were consistently perform well in this 4 games. So do you expect Hard to Get will be climbing up to the top now? As Abstract say, it is 60 points. The distance is like 64 points between No Escape and Hard to Get from last week. But this week, we can see Hard to Get is like consistently getting more than 10 points in every match. So what is your prediction?
When I believe that once we are heading into week number 4, I still think that No Escape can still stay in first place, while Hard to Get may lose a point against Auto Knockout. Yeah, I actually feel that Auto Knockout may be able to get himself higher, maybe even to the 3rd place. Hard to Get, perhaps really close to Auto Knockout. It's either or when it comes to 2nd place and 3rd place. Either Hard to Get or Auto Knockout in 2nd place. Following that 3rd place is either or of them, because so far Baby Argon as well as 4X-Men Esports, they haven't really showed themselves in the AB bracket. So I would really want to see how they're gonna portray themselves in the AC bracket.
Well, I do think that, like, yes, it is a good idea that you should be, like, looking to get to those top spots, but I think more importantly so is the fact that a lot of these games is a little bit unfortunate when it comes down to the circle as well, and map preferences for some of these teams. Like looking in the general perspective, for X-Men coming off of week 2, having the most number of booyahs overall, yet still only making to the 4th place, and what they're lacking in is kill score. And the same can be said to Auto Knockout. They're getting a couple of booyahs on their side, but overall, relatively even number of place points and kill score relatively the same. If they want to go above and beyond, somebody's going to have to take No Escape out, and when they do, they have to take full advantage of the situation, really start going aggressive, racking up as many points the moment they see No Escape get taken out within at least first 4 squads. I would like to say first 4 squads would be ideal.
Yeah, in this case, I would say, like, because No Escape, they mainly focus on the killing points from the start of the game, from game 1, day 1 till today. They are not like, okay, I really need to get this booyah, or I wanted to get this placement point, but instead they are climbing up this far, getting so much points. It's actually based on the kill points. So I think that really plays a part instead of just, booyah and placement point. So yeah, I am pretty excited about that. So now we are coming up with the top teams right now. So what about the underdogs team? So we have like 8 SAF. Do you think that they can make it? Now they are at the bottom, definitely at the bottom first. And do you think they can climb up to below of Bloody Head? Now Bloody Head is at 10. So do you think they can make it like 11 or about there?
Okay, so if we are looking at the post week 2 bracket, right? So Genesis All Star has been performing pretty well today, but I don't think that it is enough to catch up to Supreme Assault Forces because of their tremendous game previously. Also, Special Army MY haven't really shown themselves that much. Legend Rumble, not much. LCMY Gregory, not much as well. So I would be inclined to believe that Genesis All Stars and Special Army MY may end up with a small amount of deficit for Genesis All Stars. Genesis All Stars may still be on number 16, but they would catch up a little bit closer to the rest of the leaderboards there, because Genesis All Star was at 132 points, while Special Army MY is at 204 points. That is a huge amount of points to catch up to. So it still requires them a lot more games, as well as a lot more kills and placement points in order to catch up. But for Supreme Assault Forces, AXA Dream Team, I honestly think that they should be able to climb up to 11th and 12th, respectively.
I mean, I think I'm going to go a little bit of a deferring opinion. I actually do believe that Gregory is coming up pretty strong today, and considering that their performance, the only thing that they're lacking in is just that kill score. But what's really notable, especially coming out of week 2, is just the margins of which a lot of these teams from 11th place all the way down to 16th place. I mean, 15 to 16, that's a huge margin. So that means 11 to 15. It's within the 20-point margin of each of these teams. So one Booyah easily you could rat out the entire game and still come up on top if we're going based off of these scores. With the updated bracket, probably it's going to shift a little bit more, but I'm keeping my eyes on Gregory, especially once it comes to A and C, because these guys, they were performing decently well on their first 2 maps. Can they keep up that performance? And if they can, day 2 coming in to week 3, day 2, it's going to be quite a snowball effect.
Yeah, as you both and analyze and tell me about the points, I actually realized that at the lower bracket they have actually pretty close points together since last week, because they are either 2 points away or 4 points away, less than 10 points away from top 11 till 16. So I mean 16 and 15 probably a little bit apart, but instead like 11 till 14, they are pretty close together. So probably they have a really huge changing right here in the bracket soon. So by the way, let's come to the map instead, map view of, do you think that because we're coming up with, we'll have like group C versus group A. So do you think that in Kalahari, because we say that Kalahari is meant to be for the group no escape, but now, for X-Men, they always get Booyah in every map. So do you think that at this place and at this point, do they still be being aggressive and dominating and getting the Booyah versus Group C? Because Group C is the group of death. What do you think?
That is hard to say, really. That is really hard to say. Because so far, for week number 2, right, we were kind of expecting Kalahari to be a little bit more calm and chill, because week 1 was aggressive as hell. And week number 2, I was hoping to see the opposite, because people are starting to adapt. They're starting to adapt and thinking, you know what, because this specific team keeps coming in, especially when it comes to No Escape. No Escape keeps flushing us out. We keep losing. So it's time to, kind of rotate our gameplay and kind of shuffle things up a little bit. And that was what I was expecting. But in the end, it was still relatively aggressive all around the map. And for this week wise, everything else has been shuffled to something that I can't even recognize anymore, and it's gonna be tough for me to even put a finger on any of the teams that could be dominating. Which, like, if whether A is a lot stronger than C, or C is a lot stronger than B, those kind of stuff, I can't say anything just yet.
All right. So, yes, we expected a lot from, the top teams. No Escape, hard to get, but they still not getting any Booyah yet. And we have some new teams coming up, Bloody Hate, SAF, getting Booyahs instead. So, yeah, we really couldn't, expect or predict anything just yet. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's watch it out. Right now, we have Group A versus Group Group A versus Group C, which is the last series of today, day 1. So, enjoy yourself and let's Booyah.
All right. There we go. The game is going to begin between A and C in Kalahari. Now, like I said, I can't exactly put a finger on which team may win, and I can't exactly, say too much about my favorite or bias or whatsoever. I really can't say anything because it's really tough. I would want to put more of my my coin onto Auto Knockout, because they have been looking pretty strong. But before we even continue, let us take a look at the flight path, which is going to be starting off in the southeastern side towards the western side. So the access to the rest of the map is very close towards the southwestern side, but anything that is at the northeastern side is completely out of bounds. It is tough to reach there. Oh,
yeah, it really is tough. But now we're already seeing the first engagements here, and because of that shuffle, a lot of these teams are going to be contesting against other teams, because now they're getting pushed out of their comfort zone. This is the exact same position that ARG put themselves in here in their previous matchup, and that ended up getting them killed. Let's see this time, especially against Group C, whether or not they're going to etch it out and figure it out and plugged up the holes in their gameplay.
Oh my god. Baby Argon, I I don't know what to say from here because they haven't really been doing that well, to be honest. They have been eliminated pretty early in the game, and looking at their records for today, it doesn't seem like they are doing that well in the early parts of the team fight. So I would say, you know, this is gonna be weird, but this is something that I always say, that they should go aggressive, they should take the opportunity and just try to take all the fights because of the fact that the map is still huge. The possibilities of people coming into the third party you is a lot lower. I should suggest them to run away. But for now, you know what is not running away? Bosku versus Eclipse. None of them is running away at all, and they are initiating a fight against one another. And Eclipse versus Bosku, it does seem like it is going to be a 1-for-2 exchange with a couple of members that's already been dropped. Bosku, one man completely executed. We'll see eventually how the players is just going to be working things out. Anger with a really nice shotgun shot right onto the members of Bosku. A good amount of glue walls has been deployed and erected from Cal to help his dear friend Percy out, but Xiaoyi is also going to be knocked out. A good amount of shots has been traded off, but Cal just going to be going all out Rambo, and that is not something that I was expecting at all. Not.
I mean, that's what happens when you don't. That's what happens when you don't finish off these kills. You got to be able to push up and clean up that fight. They bought so much time with the glue walls. They couldn't seem to push. They knew for a fact that the person that their teammates who actually had a shotgun, who actually could take this battle close quarters, was already down. And the moment that SMG is whipped out, you just know. All you hear is just brrrr. And so many members just ended up falling down to it. He just kept on pushing forward.
Oh my. It's been, the game was pretty much turned away towards Bosku, and it's not something that I was expecting to turn around. It was a good comeback nevertheless, and I would like to commend them for it, but the fact that they have lost like 2 members from that entire fight is relatively tough. But hey, the good thing is they still have 4 kills in their name, and with 8 points net in the bag, I guess it is still, you know, something to be proud of.
I mean, of course, they're going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage at this point of time, but, you know, they're still in the game, and that's all they could hope for at this point of the competition, because the name of the game is to get points. You're not looking to always be getting those booyahs. You always can't be hoping to have the most advantageous positions. You just have to adapt on the fly, and that's the beauty of these Battle Royale genre games, because it's not just about skill, it's about the consistency, it's about being smart about the plays, it's making sure that you are making the best out of each of these unique and very different situations.
Everything is different. The circle is different. Who you're facing is different. So you really need to put your brain in your games and understand, like you said, the best situation calls, and just so that just to make sure that you're getting everything right. Obviously, not everything will always be right? And just have to find the most optimal gameplay, if whether you should run or whether you should stay for the fight.
Yeah, and I think a lot of teams just refuse to back away from a lot of these fights because they are realizing that, yes, we need these points. I think they don't have a choice. Even if they're willing to suffer some casualties, getting those free 2 points is always going to be, it could be the difference maker from being in 12th place or 13th place. Especially for the underdog teams, they're a little bit more invigorated to do so. The people on top of the leaderboards, probably not as worried for sure, but they definitely are selecting their fights a lot more carefully.
Indeed. I guess we can kind of go for a little bit of that 400 IQ mind games on the opponents. If you kind of if you manage to knock one person down and you're able to identify which team is that, if you identify that, you know, this team is more of an aggressive player, aggressive team, and maybe they're at the top of the leaderboards, you can expect that the opponents will just rush right at you, right? So you can make full use of that situation when they are running out of cover, they want to rush towards you, make full use of the third person point of view, and make sure that their position is completely compromised, and deal with that situation. Kill them when they are on their way over. I think that's the best play that you can do, because you are still in cover while the opponent is trying to rush at you, doesn't have any cover. That is the best way that you can control your fights towards your advantage.
Yeah, and what's great about, especially from the third-person perspective, is that you can look around corners without putting yourself in a really, really exposed position. It's not like some of the other games they have out there where, you know, you're in first-person view. If you try to peek, your shoulder is sticking out, and people can clearly see the tip of your gun. Small things like that is not what you have to worry about in Free Fire. It really is all about abusing the mechanics and putting it into your advantage. And the same goes for the auto aim assist being the biggest mechanic. You can land some pretty insane shots. However, you also have to understand that it requires some form of distancing so that it is an effective tool.
Indeed. You can't get too far from it because, I mean, there is going to be a spray pen and in some sense a recoil amount. So you're going to have to be careful that you're just going to have to land a good amount of shots in front of your enemies. But you can't get too close as well, because if you are too close, then say goodbye to the entire piece of your body, because very likely you're just going to be smashed to smithereens by a slug shot from a shotgun. They need to know about the distancing, the optimal distancing.
Yeah, but now you can already see the ARG baby Argon. They've really struggled overall throughout this day, but now is their time to really turn this around. They are getting a little bit more aggressive, utilizing their utility and consumables as well as the glue walls to close that distance to get to the structure. The question is, can they clear it out, especially against a team like Raw? They get on top of the roof with the grappling hook, but unfortunately he gets shot a couple of times, not enough to put him at lethal. He heals back up, but that roof is completely compromised as Raw completely takes him out. That Overwatch from the hill again is going to take him down.
And just like that, Raw Squad, they have a pretty good bird's eye view against some of the members coming in from Baby Argon. I'm not too sure exactly if whether they are able to get an eye onto Baby Argon once they have entered into territory, and now they're going to be dealing with a 2 versus 4 kind of situation, and we have the Argon just going to be jumping right in with a shotgun. It doesn't seem like things are going to be looking well for everyone else, but Jabat is just going to be releasing all the slug shots right onto the opponents, and things are definitely not looking well at all for Raw Squad, because Baby Argon, man, oh man, the amount of damage that they deal is going to be absolutely insane. But it's okay, because Raw Squad, they're still relatively healthy, and now Q has turned things around. He got a shot knocked down onto Cobra, gets an execution as well, but Baby Argon was immediately knocked down. Coming in from that one, Raw Squad has turned the games around, turned the tables, and immediately punished the aggressor. The hunter.
Yeah, and that's what happens. Unfortunately, like it came down to a very tight situation when it comes down to reviving your teammates in that time, because again, it is relatively short to pick up your buddies, but you have to make sure you're in a safe spot. But with the glue walls and the amount of utility used to get into this site, this structure, it becomes such a difficult game. He had a shotgun, he had everything going for him. He just needed to finish off that fight.
Oh my god. But I suppose that, you know, Raw Squad, they kind of knew exactly what they want to do, and they are a little bit different when it comes to the team fights, because they would want to go for the executes, right? So unfortunately for Baby Argon, they weren't able to, you know, deal with the knockdown players, and now Cobra is knocked down, immediately executed, and now it became a 2 versus 4 situation coming in from the side. Mind X brings him down, while there's still 2 members coming in from Raw Squad. At the second story, they were completely sandwiched, pinched in a very bad position. And I don't know about this, but Raw Squad, or sorry, Baby Argon, they had the right idea in mind, but the execution just weren't there.
I mean, their initiation was almost flawless until that very end, where they were looking to try and get that last member coming in for their team, but it didn't work out. But so far so good for everybody else. For X-Men as well, still managing to stay alive, you know, within the first 2 circles here. Ooh, Lyle, CMY, Gregory is trying to make sure to get these kills, but Raw, they're coming in hot. The UAV is gonna fly right over, and Raw literally on fire here to look out for more kills. They want to shoot up in leaderboards.
Oh my god. Okay, so things are starting to get a little bit dicier from this point onwards, because we're looking at the second circle. We do have Raw Squad that have gotten themselves a total of 5 kills to their name, so they are gonna be our kill leader for this round, as they are hugging inside of Bayfront. They are expecting to see LCMY Gregory at the other side, and in the meantime, 4 X-Men has been eliminated in the early stages again. Doesn't seem like for X-Men Esports, they are working well at all of this game. And I think that they are definitely going to be dropping down in the leaderboards. But we will only know for sure once we look at, the overall leaderboards at the end of the day. We're just going to be focusing a little bit more as to this team fight between Raw Squad as well as LCMY Gregory. You were saying that LCMY Gregory was pretty strong in the first bracket in AB. We'll see how they're going to fare for this fight against Raw Squad then.
Yeah, especially with the momentum coming in from Raw. And talk about casting, Chris. I was literally commending, yeah, 4X-Men, they are managing to survive, and instantly they just get wiped. So it's really unlucky, but hopefully Gregory doesn't fall to that same fate here, because I really believe that they had a very strong showing within the first 2 games. Don't prove me wrong, but wait, H2G is actually walking up to third them. This is not looking too great for either one of these squads. This is about to become a bloodbath.
Oh, a bloodbath indeed. I'm not even sure how Raw Squad is supposed to deal with this situation. Will they have enough information that, Hard to Get is somewhere around the vicinity? They cannot open fire on the Hard to Get, but it does seem like they don't care about it all. They're just gonna open fire on that. In the meantime, Jeff is now taken down by Zuxon from the other side of the wall. Then now the storm is slowly closing in, flushing Raw Squad away. And not only just them, they are also gonna be flushing LCMY Gregory away from the building. And I don't think that this fight is gonna be prolonged that long. Yen is just gonna be wrapping around, and he finds Q right behind this small little wall, this small little building, and he's gonna be taken out. LCMY Gregory with 2 men remaining and 1 kill to their name, and also entirely consumed by the storm. I just can't find any way that LCMY Gregory is able to get himself away.
I mean, they're trying to out-heal the circle right now, but they're trying to get back into the spot. But H2G going to take full advantage of the fact that Rurar was a little late on that rotation, even dropping the frags there under the bridge. Oh, wait, hold on. Looks like there's shots coming in from LGD, who has full control over the circle with center point and high ground. They're going to be looking to take this game away if they keep up their position. Oh, no. That's going to be a shot, and Shinra gets knocked down. The blue wall is going to get shot down as quickly as it comes up. But again, LGD, some great positioning on their side.
Oh my god. Okay, things are getting starting to get really spicy right now. LCMY Gregory eliminated. The Caster's Curse has been called. And it does seem like Legend Rumble. Actually, hey, Legend Rumble has been doing relatively well. With 4 kills in the name, they have been relatively quiet for quite a bit now. And I'm really surprised that they have managed to get this far, not being eliminated and having 4 kills in their name. But in the meantime, Auto Knockout is something that would one of the teams that we definitely want to be taking a look at. Mr. D is trying to go for a really quick snipes and, well, just sniper shots right in the face of the enemies. Not too sure how that is going to work out for them. But Auto Knockout, they have 1 man being knocked down. Shura is just going to be getting himself closer and closer, but I don't think that Shura knows that someone is right behind. What? He eats that grenade point blank. He didn't die though, but he only died shortly after that. Batman, the last man remaining, coming in from Team Hard to Get, and he's just gonna be hiding behind this wall, playing by the extremities of the circle. And if he continues on to his route towards the bridge, he will be able to match up, and of course will be able to see Raw Squad. And Batman brings 1 down for the team.
Double kill.
Oh, this is a really, really weird position to be in, especially for Batman, because now he's holding a very valuable weapon in his he has it in his possession. He could literally give the win over to one of these teams just by dying to them. So he's gonna have to play it slow, and maybe if he can wait all the way towards the last 2 squads, he might be able to pull this one out of the bag. Because again, that's just the nature of these power weapons. If you can isolate your targets, you will have a much better time. And not to mention, he's not running an AWM. This is a grenade launcher. If 2 people are a little close to each other, both are going to end up being collateral.
Kaboom, baby. And we'll see how that is going to work out. Hard to Get Batman is going to be the sole survivor of Team Hard to Get. We do have Raw Squad that already have their eyes on the target. They really want to deal with Batman, but it does seem like Minax really have to get himself away from the current situation, which is right under the bridge. The storm is going to be slowly consuming him time and time again. But hey, you know what's the thing here? we do have a Legend Rumble with 4 men strong. While take a look at the northern side. We do have a big amount of team fight going on about, and it does seem like Taken with the grenade launcher is more than enough to deal with the entire situation. But the thing is, it is way too loud, and a Legends Rumble finds themselves in the perfect opportunity to be jumping right in, third-partying whoever is in here, and just deal with this current situation. And just like that, 8 kills to their name with 3 teams remaining. They gotta deal with Minex, who is behind this glue wall. And what can I say? Grenade and grenade launchers is all you need. Batman has survived long enough to get himself to second place. He doesn't really have to care so much anymore. He doesn't have to care anymore. He got himself second place, and that is all he needed.
LGD Legend Rumble get the booyah for this game. You gotta give it to the man himself. Taken, looking for his daughter, Liam Neesoning this game to victory, pushing them through with that grenade launcher, getting that quadra kill as well, and clearing up shop. But don't forget about Hard to Get, because they got second place thanks to Batman, making sure that he just kind of crept up, waited for his time to get back into the game. They end the score with 3 kills. However, getting second place is more than what they could ask for.
Indeed, that was admirable from Batman. Or else, Hard to Get wouldn't even be able to get much points from the game if Batman hasn't survived this long. And Raw Squad, well, I guess Minex was just a little bit unfortunate over there. But ultimately, Legends Rumble, I guess this is another part of the caster's curse. But in some sense, I would say that this is like the caster's opportunity that is being able to, give over to Legend Rumble. Because I said, and I quote, Legends Rumble hasn't been doing that well in the first bracket. And here we have AC. They got themselves first place, 40 points. I said it before. Legends Rumble may go down the bracket because of the underdogs that has been performing so well. And here they are. I don't think that they will be dropping down anymore.
I mean, it's one of those situations where a team just telepathically feels motivation. It's like, I feel like the casters are talking smack about me, and they just built that extra motivation to pull it all the way through. And I think this is one of the perfect examples of that actually happening. 2 times casters hurt Kiss, and the 3rd time still effective.
I don't even know what to say about Casters Curse, but if we ever say anything about something, it turns out the opposite. So I'm just gonna say that tonight I'm not gonna win in the 4D draws. I'm gonna buy it.
A lot of hope for that. But yeah, I think so far between groups A and C, it's a lot more even now, because a lot of these underdog teams are actually taking a huge step forward, taking out some of the top fraggers, and even arguably some of the stronger teams in the groups, not only in their own groups but also on the opposite side. So it's very fun to see the different variations and styles that these teams have played by far.
And there's nothing that's really set in stone just yet. They just the players, they just decided to go passive or aggressive. It really depends on the current situation. So for now, yes, we can still say that Hard to Get, No Escape, as well as Auto Knockout, they are relatively quite an aggressive team by nature. But if the situation doesn't allow them to do so, then they're just going to focus on what they need to do, which is the objective being the placements. Because ultimately, if you can't get kills, there's another way to get yourself a couple of points. And in the early start of the game, if you can go for kills, go for kills. If you get a couple of members being knocked out, it's okay. We have a fallback plan that we can deal with. And we are on the top of the leaderboards. Things will be fine. This kind of thing that they can say. But hey, Cassius Curse may come in, and maybe we have another underdog coming in to win in the second round.
Potentially. And I mean, especially in week 3 after the shuffle, I think this is very reminiscent of week 1, day 1 as well, because you saw a lot of these teams going very aggressive early on, dropping into the same spots. That's what we're seeing all over again as history repeats itself in week 3. I do expect week 3, day 2 to be a little bit more cleaner for a lot of these teams, as where they establish their areas of dominance, and also they're going to have access to the map of Bermuda once more. So at the very least, they're going to be able to spread out much more than they are in places like Kalahari.
Perhaps this time when we are going to be looking at Purgatory, which is the next map upcoming between A and C. Maybe, who knows, this time Central, Fire Brigade, Lumber Mill kind of game going on again. And you know what would be miraculous? Everyone heading down to Central, Fire Brigade, as well as Lumber Mill, and finish the game in under 5 minutes.
Not gonna happen. That one's a little too good to be true.
And it is just a complete. It's not even. It's just a festival, like a blood festival. You're just looking at the entirety of Fire Brigade painted with red, except that the red is a different kind of red. It turned dark real quick. It turned a little bit too dark real quick. But never mind that.
I mean, not only are the walls going to be red, there's literally going to be glue walls everywhere. I don't even know how you're going to be looking at at the walls when all you could see is just glue and all the different variations and skins for those glue walls.
Indeed. Well, I completely forgot about the presence of glue wall previously just now. But anyways, enough of the chitter-chatter. Let us take a look at the current flight path, which will be starting in the northern side and will be cutting in through all the way to the northwestern side. And the closest place that players could go is literally the southern part of the map, and that is gonna be Central Fire Brigade and Lumber Mill. But it does seem like we do have 3 teams that's gonna be making their way inside at the southern side. 4 X-Men is heading their way to Golf Course as well as Montevilla. As well as the Santa Brasilla. I think that we have a good amount of teams there as well.
Yeah, I mean, overall, these flight paths for this group A and C has just been terrible. I mean, they really limit you in their positioning. I mean, look, there's 3 people who dropped relatively in the same vicinity as each other, and Kai, he's going to be looking to be rotating, but he already with his teammates towards the edge of the map. However, the pot shots haven't been taken from either side. They don't have enough. Oh no, don't do that. Don't do me like that.
Oh my god. It's coming close, right? It's coming close between Hard to Get as well as Legends Rumble. Legends Rumble is just going to be playing by the riverbank and trying to get themselves closer and closer. I think they are running towards the sound of fire. Are they? Oh, no, they're not. No. So there's no firing going on just yet. But I think they know where Hard to Get is. I think they do know.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, for sure, they saw them as they were parachuting down. They clearly know, but now, whether or not they're... Oh, yep, there are the shots. Batman is going to be the person to take those shots. He finds the first one on LGDs. And yes, he jumps out of the roof to try to get Taken as well, making sure that he's putting a lot of pressure on that glue wall. He comes back up. Taken is going to be the next, but now the double peak comes out. He has to drop that glue wall to keep himself alive. Breaks the glue wall again, takes one out. Taken out in the open. That's going to be 2 for Batman, the Knight of Darkness, the Dark Horse himself, taking out most of the team. He's got 50%. He's got 50% of the rest of H2G looking to clean up shop.
What the hell is going on here? The entirety, the Hunter just got hunted like double kill. Nothing. There was absolutely nothing that Legend Rumble could do. There's still one more straggling player inside of this building, but it doesn't seem like Hard to Get kind of knows of it just yet. I'm not too sure if whether they know, but you know, if they're able to find out the last member of Legends Rumble, then they will be able to get their fast eliminate down, and I will be looking forward to it as well.
I mean, of course, everybody's going to be looking forward to that one as they look to try and clean up that last member. But overall, just, you know, well done to Batman here. And this is just a great show of fundamentals from the team because they oh, no, is that bomb going to be able to get the... Nope, unfortunately not. The glue wall stands strong as she tries to cross over through the riverbanks. Rar trying to take on Eclipse on the other side. And that's the beauty of the glue walls because there's not a lot of cover to work with sometimes. And that's when the glue walls become very, very handy when it comes to crossing maps, crossing from angle to angle, and also repositioning here as Abel trying to take on Uni. He takes down one, but D is going to drop him instantaneous. Where is Aga? It looks like he's making a run for it through Lumber Mill, and that's going to be it for this engagement.
Yep, there is absolutely no way that they are able to save their dear old friend. While Q is just firing into the crate. I am not too sure whether he's even able to see anything because I can't see anything, not gonna lie. I really can't see anything. But now we've got a decent amount of teams with only one member remaining. So it is really about time for the players to start playing by the placements, especially for Legend Rumble. You can see Baby is just gonna be hiding in here and... Okay.
Oh, is he
Okay.
gonna make it out? Did they not realize him just running from building to building? Maybe he's still trying to go up to the second floor. The chase is on. They just spotted him out. Turns the corner, dodges and jukes. Is he gonna do it one more time? He gets the initial shot, but nah. Voidface was able to make his first shot connect. He does not miss these.
Yep. Yo, I was confused the entire time, man. I was just absolutely speechless. I don't even know what was going on. He was just running from places to places. It doesn't seem like hard to get. Was, reacting to him moving about. Only until he got into the second building, then hard to get decided to like, hey, guys, there's someone there, or something along the lines. But it was rather unfortunate for Legends Rumble. In the end, they're gonna be eliminated at the 10th place, and that wasn't even at the storm hasn't even come in just yet, which is rather unfortunate, not gonna lie. But still, things gonna have to happen. The hunter has to hunt for their prey, hunt for their food, and etc., etc., etc. We still have a good amount of teams that are still pretty healthy just yet, and we should be expecting a relatively silent game from now, maybe until the third circle.
Yeah, the third circle is where hell really starts breaking loose here, because like from first circle to second circle, it's not too big of a change, but from like second to third circle, that's quite a significant drop. We're losing almost 50% of the map at that point in time. So what can you really do as each of these teams are starting to transition to each other? 9 teams still alive with 9 teams, 32 people still alive, and most of the lurkers have been taken out for the most part of it. Once again, caught out into the open, hard to get. Is going to start their engagement onto LCMY's Gregory's team. The scout, hopefully he doesn't go down here like he did the last time. They are going to try and open the perimeter as the rest of the team might transition through the riverbanks to try and get this flank.
And with a really long shot, long range fight going on about, will Voidface be able to shoot through this small little, not really small, but this huge tree, be able to get a shot down? But unfortunately, it does seem like we do have a little bit of third party going on. I'm not too sure. No. It's just, 4 X-Men trying to fire down shots back at hard to get. They did manage to get a kill down on the Shida, if I'm not wrong. Batman, Voidface, and Gunzai Gang pretty much just trying to get himself away and does not want to lose any more member for themselves, because it is still pretty early into the game. They have to get their game on. They have to focus at what is important. But the most important thing to know is that they are the kill leader. They have to keep it up. Or rather, they don't have to keep it up, but I'm pretty sure that they know that they are on a momentum, they are on a spree, and they will want to make full use of this mentality to carry them forward.
Yeah, I think a lot of it does come down to just selecting the fights, and especially with so many teams still alive, only on the first circle as well. It's very likely that they could be attracting a lot more attention than they should. So it's better in most cases not to take these fights, just to kind of let them fight amongst themselves, weed them out, look to play for picks, and then eventually start moving in. Once the teams reduce down to about 5 to 6, then going in for the all-ins becomes that much important. But also taking into consideration the circle, because that is going to tell you how often or not, or the area of play in which you could get thirded at.
Auto knockout is coming in really close, and we do have a good amount of members that's just going to be around the vicinity as well. Unfortunately, we are only able to see the color. I'm not too sure which of the teams that they are facing out with, but Auto knockout has gotten themselves out of the vicinity, away from it was hard to get as well as for X-Men. So that was a good choice. I'm not sure whether they even knew that there were people behind them, but ultimately, if they were to stay at that Bermuda Triangle, then it's going to be relatively hard, and things are gonna get really ugly real fast. But on knockout, they haven't gotten a single kill just yet. Perhaps they would want to find another kind of fight to engage in. Or maybe just wait until the circle becomes smaller and smaller, so find themselves in the right position in order to get that.
Yep, slow starts coming in from all of these teams. They haven't taken too many casualties overall, but H2G in the vicinity of AKO. Both teams just holding on to their ground, knowing that they're going to have to transition into the circle at some point of time. They just need to have a good understanding of where that circle needs to be before taking this fight. And H2G, they've already lost them. They've already suffered a casualty despite being the kill leaders in this lobby so far. So they can't afford to go any further than this. But let's look at the overall map. I mean, there's a good even spread. Everybody wants to kind of play for center circle.
Yeah, and not to forget, it does seem like the danger zone is just going to be right smack in the center as well. I mean, it's not going to make a big deal, but I would really want to see where the next circle is going to be. And once that happens, most of the players will have no choice but to get themselves closer and closer to the circle, and maybe even compromise their current positioning and find themselves in a really bad spot.
Yep, and now, I mean, the pod shot's coming in from AKO. Ooh, he manages to connect one, but now the suppressing fire is coming back at him just to try and deter him from taking those shots. Again, it's a poking game. It's a poking game from here until the third circle.
Yep, indeed. Now, auto knockout as well as hard to get. Unfortunately, we are not going to be looking at 4X-Men anywhere around, but auto knockout, they have to do this. They have to try to get themselves these kills against hard to get, especially since hard to get only has 3 members remaining. But, you know, knowing auto knockout, they're not the kind of aggressive members that just nilly-willy jump into the face of the team fight just for no reason at all, right? They have their reasonable answers, and they would want to wait until the perfect opportunity for the opponents to either run into them because they have the superior positioning, or that they just don't want to risk their current positioning. Because if you were to run towards, you know, how to get right now, we could all understand that how to get is just going to lay down the lads on you because they have cover.
Yeah.
Well, you don't.
Yeah, but now 10 more seconds until the circle is going to start closing in on these teams. So again, when we're talking about poking in the early stages of the game, it's very effective as it slowly becomes more and more potent as the circle gets not only shrinks smaller, but the engagement rates get much higher here as some people are starting to get their big power weapons from these supply drops. AWN onto Jabat here, something to take note because these power weapons are such big game changers.
I would really want to see some nice little explosive explosions right now. 9 teams with 31 members remaining, and the circle is starting to be the circle and the storm is slowly going to be pushing everyone in. But the good thing is, hard to get 4X-Men as well as auto knockout, they're gonna be staying where they are right now because they are not under the threat of the storm just yet. But the good thing, I mean, another thing that we are gonna be looking at is the fact that the circle, the extremities of the circle is closer to the 4X-Men. I don't think hard to get even have that kind of positioning onto 4X-Men, while we do have Eclipse, I think. Eclipse at the at the southern side of this current circle. So he have to come closer and closer in order to get himself closer to cover. He may either bump into 4X-Men, or he would just be gunned down before he even run into anywhere. Because 4X-Men, they have the bird's eye view.
Well, I don't think they really mind. They don't mind just sitting there and slowly pushing into, coming late into the circle. Because again, this is only the second one. It doesn't hurt that bad. They can even just sit in the storm for a while before rotating and waiting for those those shots to be heard. But now, Bosco going to be locking down Roar as they can't seem to get into the circle once again. This is what we call gatekeeping, as they are continually putting some suppressing fire onto Roar's Q here. There's nothing that you can really do but just kind of hope that glue wall sustains as he tries to go towards the northern side in order to not get out of that position. That's going to be you getting secured. Another kill for the side of LCMY's Bosco.
My oh my, that was indeed some gatekeeping over there. Ladies and gentlemen, that is exactly what you need to do for the gatekeeping. LCMY Bosco has definitely laid down the lead on the opponent's side, and Raw Squad would have nothing to rely themselves on. Literally, with their back against the wall, there is nothing that they can deal with. And Yoon, oh, they have spotted out Yoon. There is absolutely no way that Yoon can even get away with this. But Jabat comes in from absolutely nowhere. And this, ladies and gentlemen, this is the third party going on here. We can pretty much say that this is the third imposter going on about. Because Jabat with the AWM is just going to be getting all that 500 maximum shots into the bodies of BQ. But it doesn't seem like things are working too well for him. Because Raw Squad has been eliminated.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. I definitely thought Raw might have a free outing there because they were getting because the enemy team of Bosco was getting thirded by the members of ARG. Oh, there we go. He's already found the first initial knockdown, and this is what I was talking about. I thought there was going to be a lot more coming out of ARG onto this side of the map, but it looks like they've split themselves apart 2-2 to kind of cover more area and have more pressure and control within this next upcoming circle. Now, Third circle is going to be closing in. Boss Crew coming in from the north side. They need to rotate fast before their enemies who have been pursuing them the entirety of the time they were fighting against RAR, ARG, catch up.
How exactly is things gonna be working out for them right now? And now, Baby Argon with only two men remaining, 1 kill though, and just like that, we do have the storm slowly closing in, and there's no way that Baby Argon can even get himself away from this current situation. I don't think so. They're just stuck inside this hut.
Yeah, I mean, even though they are in this hut, look at the spread that they have. It's too far. Jabat and Phoenix are just so far apart, fighting 2 different teams single-handedly, and that's good. Wait, hold on. What's happening with 4 X-Men here, trying to take out another side, trying to take out another team at the vicinity as ARG, once again, catching back to the current action, as they are trying to make it on out of there and regroup together because Jabat and Phoenix are so far apart. This could really hurt the team, and they can't cover each other's backs.
And Phoenix is going to be the second last man remaining coming from Baby Argon. Japan. It just seems like he's receiving a good amount of damage. LCMY Boss Crew, they would want to get themselves closer and closer into the hut. Force comes rocketing in. He gets a shotgun down, but unfortunately he did not land a single shot on the opponent at all. Phoenix goes for the returning frag right now. He heals right in front of his 2 enemies, executes one of them, and is just gonna be pushing down so much damage on the opponent. Like right now, it is just absolutely horrendous if you ask me. My oh my. Phoenix turning the tides around.
Really did, and that's the power of a shotgun, but that also just means just the poor hipfire control in general, because he did drop the blue wall. He tried to close his opponents into that trailer truck, but it didn't work out too well. He ended up trapping himself, but now the shotguns come down, drops the blue wall on the route, try and get him over, but unfortunately, it's going to be Gregory coming in with the jump shot securing that kill. Once again, LCM Gregory doing a very good job making it within the top 4 of this lobby.
My oh my, now 4 teams remaining, and things are starting to get really sour. And oh, hello! 4 X-Men stays 2 as 8, but in the meantime, it doesn't matter. They're going to be sandwiched in between by auto knockout as well as A. Now, Special Army MY, they're going to be on the left side of 4 X-Men, while auto knockout is right smack center of where 4 X-Men is. They are in such a vulnerable position, but it doesn't seem like 4 X-Men is making them a position that vulnerable as we all think it is, because they are just suppressing fire, throwing so much lead over to Special Army MY, and no one is dealing with this at all. They're just letting them go ham all over the place, and just like that, I think that they managed to get 2 kills to their name already.
Yeah, and here's the problem, because 4X know that their position is actually the worst amongst these 3 teams, because you can see on the other side, Squad 4, AKO, they have prime position to get into the circle with no problems while still being able to gatekeep both of these squads. So 4X, with no choice, has to deal with the squad on the eastern half of this circle. Everybody needs to start heading in towards it, because there's only one team that actually made it to the circle with 0 resistance. It's going to be the last 2 here between LCM's Gregory versus AKO.
My oh my, and this is gonna be the last encounter between LCMI Gregory versus Auto Knockout. Things are gonna be looking pretty sour right now. 3 versus 4. 1 person knocked out, executed, and now it's gonna be left with 1 man remaining. How is Jeff gonna be dealing with this? I believe that he still has either a tree as well as a blue wall. We have Shuren running all around the map. He tries to go around the perimeters. He wants to deal with him, but in the end, it doesn't even matter, because booyah! It is given away to Auto Knockout.
AKO come out right on top, and finally they get the booyah that they've been waiting for all day long. They got so close to it, and finally they clinch it at the very end. Well done to AKO. Auto knockout coming out of this. Really happy. LCMY's Gregory as well, doing a really good job bringing it up to 2nd place. They didn't actually clinch the booyah this time, but their performance getting into the top 3 very consistently, or at the very least coming out with a good amount of points, is really helping the argument that they are going to be jumping up in the leaderboard. And maybe this shuffle is what LCMY needed to actually get out of this plateau.
And in the end, auto knockout with 30 points. LCMI Gregory with 25 points. And hey, I guess you are right about LCMI Gregory. They are seem to be looking pretty darn strong. And they are coming in second place, 25 points. Special Army MY at 23 points. It does seem like the dark horse, the underdogs, are really climbing up this week.
I mean, they're making this competition even tighter than it was before. There was a very clear spread of who was on top and who was on the bottom. But now, with this shakeup, it really has started to hurt these upper tier teams. They are still relatively consistent, but this has changed. And now it's time for everybody to start rising up those rankings and really start contesting for those top spots.
Wow, my oh my, that was... I just don't know how to say about anything right here. I usually have like a pretty good understanding as how the standings would have been by the end of all three games, and you know, a rough idea going on about in my head. But right now, with the amount of games that is, you know, kind of non-consistent throughout the board, all the booyahs are given away to different individuals, different teams. I just can't put a finger on what kind of changes is going to happen on the leaderboards right now. I don't even know. Okay, I'm still relatively sure that no X-Men should still be at the top, yes. But maybe, just maybe, auto knockout is coming in closer and closer to them because no escape in their game between B and C. I think no B C. Yeah, their game in BC didn't work out that well. So there could be a possibility that auto knockout is able to get their points closer and closer because of their inconsistency in bracket BC.
Yeah. I'm a level with you, Abstract. I totally agree with you where, you know, in most cases, I would have like a good understanding of who's going to be where, but I literally have no idea who is sitting at the top spot right now, and I don't know how much the leaderboard has changed, so I honestly can't wait for Leslie to come in and give us that update of what exactly has been going on, because I just don't know how close that margin is going to be.
Yeah, so I'm just not going to waste any more time because I really want to wait for the standings. So we're just going to throw you guys to the ads. We'll be right back, you guys, with the overall standings.
Squad already with 4 kills. Maybe they wiped out a squad early on that we didn't catch on screen, but none other than that, teams are going to be relatively passive and going to be camping onto the buildings, holding onto their grounds. They're not going to make any extended movements, but we can see GS Star Genesis is going to be making a move towards rotation. It might rotate to the center of the map because they're right outside Catalystua.
As well as I believe for X-Men is already down and eliminated, and now we are looking at a confrontation between GS as well as Raw Squad. How exactly is this going to be? Well, in the meantime, we're also going to be taking a look at how to get. They did manage to deploy out their cover and just to make sure that there is going to be some cover in between of themselves and the opponents. But Bosco is just going to be eliminated and takes place for Saki. He's going to be heading right out from this cover. Picks one right on Raw Squad. Just going to be waiting for the opportunity to just run straight in. And Raw Squad, unfortunately for them, is going to be
the LMG to shoot down those globals and attempt to kill onto the opposing team, onto the roof. Special Army MY is going to be really, really dangerous right there. This is a replay that just went out, so Special Army MY has been taken out. Lie in this team, ladies and gentlemen, and the circle shifted away towards them. But auto knockout is right around the edge of the circle. They couldn't have the chance to make a play, but Shoyu is going to attempt to make a play as well. He has the shotgun in hand. Will he go for an aggressive push and eventually get 1 or 2 picks for themselves and secure the top 5 spots for themselves? But I'm not sure about this Abstract. I'm not sure about what Shoyu is going to do, but this is looking very dire for Team No Escape and looking very good for auto knockout. Is going to be pinching Eclipse right around the corner together with 4X-Men. This is going to be a 3-way fight, ladies and gentlemen. Abella dropping very low, Anga dropping very low, but 4X-Men is going to be pushed out. Once will be instantly dropped down, melted down by the MP40. Logan will be dropping down. Abella is just running in with the MP40. X-Units will be dropping down. Anga will be dropping down back as well. Baby Argon with the back with the third party going on. And Baby Argon is going to push in with the advantage that they knew, lobbing grenades up front, back and center. They know that Eclipse is nowhere to go, and they know for a fact that 4X-Men has nowhere to go. They're going to be chasing down onto Abella. And right now 4X-Men is running away for their lives. 1 man left remaining, 2 men remaining in the fact, but Cobra will get the kill onto Abella and Eclipse. will be wiped out. And Auto Knockout is really in a tight spot. Miro with 70 HP left managed to pop a glow wall right before he gets dropped down instantly, gets the kill off, gets everything up online. He's back to full HP, but he has to rotate as soon as possible. Circle is closing as possible. Grenade getting lobbed down. Oh, Mr. D! He's not looking good. He's not looking safe. LCM Bosco is just right around corner. Miro gets dropped down onto this stage. I don't think he's gonna get picked up. He's gonna be leaving him behind. He's gonna attempt for the kill. He's sniping him down on the leg, but oh my god, the grenade just kills him off. And LCM Bosco just running over. He's just running over Auto Knockout right now. Auto Knockout has these two teams are confronting each other. They want to demolish each other off. They want to run each other down. Just dropping very low. Raw squad. My next will be dropping really low as well. Just will get dropped down by Boo. And this is going insane. My next will be still alive and allowed to be picked up by Boo. Get knocked out by McRory. Good teamwork coming off from the side of Super Forces 2 versus 4. Susan still very dangerous. He has to glow up, but not much to work with because the SKS is going to be dealing up. Oh my god, Susan will get the knock onto McRory instead, and Raw Squad still 3 will get the kill, but Force will get dropped down by me from the other side of the map. Frank will be shooting down on themselves as well. Force dropped down already. They have to move quick, they have to move fast because 7 seconds left onto the 7 circle has been moved. Frank pushing up with the melee weapon will be tempting for the aggressive plays. Will he pop the glow wall instead for the push? But no, he holds on to the sniper rifle. Sorry, shoots down onto me. Goals being popped. Will be saving themselves for a little bit of bullets, but circle commission and Frank has the advantage on them. Shotgun in play. Cal, will he get the kill? Cal dropping very, very low. Solby dropping very low as well, trying to go on kill up, but Solby gets killed as well. Last minute member line, Bosco, and there we go. Bosco will get eliminated, and
Mr. D from Auto Knockout from the other side of the wall. They are still inside of the circle and they should still be pretty much A-okay. But they have their eyes up onto the northern side. A lot of members is still inside of the circle, or rather really close to the circle. However, hard to get though. The glue wall pops. Mr. D pops another part of the glue wall. A good amount of shots that's gonna be landed on Batman, but oh! That shot immediately knocks Batman down. Goodbye, Batman. No more Batarang for you to be tossing all around the map.
The only man alive right now. That's why Bosco count. One man left alive in this particular match. I don't think he will do anything great just yet. He's being pinned down, and right now.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to FFTC Free Fire as the most popular game by Google Play Store in 2019. Right here, we have our Tri-Nation Cup in 2020 playing between Philippines and Malaysia. Unfortunately, Cambodian couldn't make it in this time. So, by the way, we have watched 6 games in today in 3 series. Before we come to close of what we are going to talk about in the last 2 matches, let's not wait anymore. Let's see the results and overall standing, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. Woo, woo, woo. All right, in match 1, Group A versus Group C, all right. Legend Rumble just got their booyah with total point 40 points, ladies and gentlemen. This is unexpected because Legend Rumble was in 12th. Okay, last week they were secure in 12th, but now probably they're gonna climb up a lot more. And Raw Squad, not to forget, they are one of the dark horses, 29 points, getting their placement 3 at the first match. How to get placement 2? 23 points. Bosco 22 in 4th place, Special Army 13, Auto Knockout 12 points. And next we have 7 LCMY Gregory, 10 points in total today in match 1. For X-Men Esport, 4 points only. This is unfortunately because 4X-Men was in the 4th place from last week, but now they probably gonna make some arrangement tomorrow for tomorrow game. So Eclipse as well getting 4 points, and Baby Argon unfortunately as well. They are at the 3rd place, but today facing all the underdogs team, they are getting worse by 10 place. Baby Argon in match 1 with 3 points only. Alright, in match 2, we can see Auto Knockout getting the booyah with total point 30 of them. LCMY Gregory 25. 4 X-Men Esport not bad in this time, 23. Special Army secured 23, as same as 4 X-Men. Baby Argon 20 points, not bad too in this time. Hard to get 16 points. And now we have the underdogs team right here. LCMY Bosco secured 16 points. Raw Squad, I think Raw Squad and Legend Rumble, they were really great in match 1, but in match 2, they probably playing not so good in Purgatory. They're getting 8 and 10 respectively with 9 and 2. Ladies and gentlemen, right here is overall standing. Right. So as expected by Abstract, No Escape is still secure their Thorn at 498 points right now in week 3, day 1. Hard to get, still secure their second placement at 452 right now. Auto Knockout, wow, climb up 2 placement, okay, getting 420. That was actually impressive because they were at 330 last week, and now in just 1 day they have gained around 100 points. And Baby Argon 377 for X-Men Esport 371, and Raw Squad 334. Number 7, AV Elite. They were performing pretty well today, so they climb up to 7 today, 325. LCMY Bosco secured with 308 points, Bloody Hit 305, Gregory 291, ASAF 282, Special Army 266. Let's go to the lower bracket, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Legend Rumble coming up at the 13. Wow, they actually dropped their score. I didn't notice that because Legend Rumble was performing pretty well in the last 2 games just now. So they actually dropped down to 1 placement. They were at 12, now it's 13 with 261 points. Eclipse 255. AXA Dream Team, unfortunately, they dropped down another 2 placement with 254. Genesis All Star at the last 183. All right. Welcome back to our dash. So, gentlemen, so I really have some questions in my head that I wanted to ask, and I wanted to know what's your opinion about that. As Raw Squad and Legend Rumble, they were performing well in the first game in Kalahari just now, but not so good in Purgatory. Is that the map problem, or do you think they are getting tired, worn out or something?
Honestly, when it comes to Legend Rumble, I think that their first round in AC, or rather, all the rounds that they have played is not that they are tired or anything. I just think that their first round in AC was just the really good one. Everything else is just what they normally do, which is on par, right? It was only for that round they managed to steamroll everyone else, and everything just worked towards their advantage. Everything is just playing on point, and shots are starting to land. Their luck is there when it comes to the circle and whatever it is there. I think that was the only thing for Legend Rumble, because in the past few weeks as well as this week for their first bracket, they weren't really that consistent, and they weren't really that high in points as well. And that is why initially I thought, Legends Rumble, they will be at the lower part of the bracket, maybe right on top of Genesis All-Stars, even though Genesis All-Star has been doing pretty well this week, but they already had a huge amount of deficit, a great amount of point to catch up. So they will still be in number 16, which I wholeheartedly believe that would have happened. But, I digress. The thing about AXA Dream Team's placement is not what I expect. I thought they would have been able to go up higher.
Oh, the amount of stress I have for a lot of these teams, especially on that bottom. The 12th, 13th, 14th, and even arguably the 15th place teams are all a lot closer than you would have expected. And, Legend Rumble, yes, they did have like one really good game, but I think the biggest standouts here to me has to be LCMY's Gregory, AXA's Dream Team, and Special Army MY, because again, it's not just about getting that booyah, it's the overall consistency of these games. And it's very evident that both Dream Team and Special Army were doing much better in this week itself because of the shakeup, as you can see in the current standings. I do think Legend Rumble still a significant improvement from the last week itself. 212 now, going up to at least 260, putting them 1 place down. But despite that, there's still the margins are still relatively thin, and I still don't think we have a very set middle bracket here, especially for top 12.
Yeah, that's right. I understand, but I would like to highlight more of Legend Rumble playing in the second map, Purgatory. What is the matter that why they got knocked out pretty early compared to Kalahari? They were playing pretty well, and they got Booyah at last. So what's that matter in Purgatory?
Okay, so for Legends Rumble, when it comes to Purgatory, I believe that it is all wrong place, wrong time.
Okay.
That is all I'm just gonna say. Wrong place,
Really? Wrong
time,
place, wrong
or
time?
whatever it is. Wrong. Everything when it comes to losing, I will just put it down as wrong place, wrong time.
I mean,
That is smart. That's
definitely a
smart.
fair point. That's a fair point, but I personally feel that especially when it came to some of those flight paths on games matches too between B and C have been quite brutal, and even and it got significantly worse when it became to A and C games 1 and 2, both of them on the southwestern side of the map, like literally edging the corner. These teams are going to be very close together. Like you can't really rotate super quick. It's not like everybody's going to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to be able to get these vehicles no problem and rotate towards the northern side of the map. So it was a little tough, and I do think it wasn't just necessarily the map, but I do think the flight paths did play a significant role, especially for A and C.
The
Okay,
thing I would like to comment about as well is also the fact that Legends Rumble. I said wrong place, wrong time. It is true to a certain extent, but the wrong place is charging right at hard to get. Wrong time is at the start of the game, just charging at them, and they were expecting hard to get. Oh, they wouldn't know that we will come over and kill them in before Batman goes in for a double kill, and they're just completely wiped out. Wrong place, wrong time, ladies and gentlemen.
So you wrap up the game. Okay, so we can go now. Well, by the way, talking about Batman, I mean, without Batman in Game 5, hard to get will be not getting any placement point. I get probably it's like 2 points, because they were like almost annihilated. The whole team almost annihilated at very early point. But Batman was like, the fighter. So he was like, wow, killing over and standing still till the last game of they got second place. So placement point wise, he is gaining a lot there. So as well, he was the MVP for the last 2 weeks. So Batman is definitely one of the best players, I would say, in this entire series. What do you think, Abstract and Jidan?
I agree. He does have the control of most of the fights that he takes, and he's really cautious when it comes to surroundings. He has great spatial awareness. He does have the understanding as to, someone parachuted close to us, blah 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 blah. I should be watching this angle just in case someone comes in. Oh, there's Legends Rumble. Let me just ratatata with my light machine gun.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with Abstract here, because this man literally has ice in his veins. He's literally born of darkness, and he has just especially when he is just cutting teams in half, being able to get that double kill in a very clutch situation with not a lot of cover to work with. He just got them at that point and just robbing away those points.
Yeah, that's right. I think even though the whole team is like 4 people are still alive, and he was like getting off like 2 of them, then I'm like, what? And then he ran away, and I'm like, okay, you did it. Okay, you are the MVP. That's right. You deserve it. So yeah. As well, AKO. Yeah, I was about to talk about this, before we showing the result. So I was like, I guess AKO will be at the top 3 this time, and then boom, AKO is at the top 3 right now, ladies and gentlemen. So we have just wrapped up everything, and AKO performed really well. In one of the game, they gained actually 41 points, included all the killing points, crazy killing points, and the last game 30 points. Overall, they have already gained 71 points in just day 1. Okay, so that are really a lot to watch out, especially like underdogs team, like Legend Rumbles or SAF. These 2 teams are really got me excited about this game more, because they are really climbing up, trying their best, and so they got really better today. Tomorrow is really important as well, because tomorrow is week 3 day 2, which means we only have 3 days left, included week 4 another 2 days. Then you, ladies and gentlemen, in all these teams, you only have 3 days left to claim yourself to climb up to top 12 to get into grand final of FFTC. So yeah, do you have anything to wrap up before we end this abstract and Gideon?
I'm just gonna say that week number 4 is gonna be extremely exciting. Because we are in the halfway mark of week number 3, and the leaderboard is just shuffling about.
Yep.
Gideon and I, we have no idea how the placement is gonna be. Yes, we have a slight understanding as to who might be the top 3 because of the previous records. But when it comes to today's rankings, their points is close. So it really depends on how they're going to be playing for day number 2, and that is going to reflect accordingly to week number 4, which means No Escape might not stay at the top for too long.
Well, I personally think that, the teams to really watch out is in positions 2 all the way up to 5. And then after that, they're going to have to watch for who's going to be able to make it into that top 12. Because again, 11 to 15 are just, the point margins is too uncomfortably close. There's not a lot of buffers to work with. Teams who are going to be performing tomorrow really are going to set themselves up for victory on week 4. So I'm excited to see how this goes.
Yeah. So uncomfortably, okay. We are getting comfortable to watch tomorrow game. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, right here is week 3, day 1 with Abstract and Gideon. We have a lot of excitement today because maybe because of the switching and reshuffle of the teams in different group. That's why they play differently, and maybe they got a little bit nervous, like No Escape. They didn't really perform well today. But they are still securing their first places because the previous games and so on the series, they have been standing still firmly at the first place. So I'm super excited to see what's going to happen tomorrow. Maybe they kind of will be adapting again, to this new grouping thing. So yeah, let's watch out tomorrow, week 3, day 2. And today we have just ended this 3 series, 6 games in week 3, day 1. Ladies and gentlemen, we are signing off right here at FFTC. See you next week.
Rage on that beat, going crazy.